Don't forget, Dave Kane, Kane and Company, following this program. Going to be some hot topics. And we'll be back next week.
I'm Pauline Lima, WPRO First News. It's 10:05, Kane and Company, with your host, Dave Kane, is up next on News Talk Radio 630 WPRO.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, Ms. Lima. How are you this
Mr.
morning?
Kane.
How bright-eyed and bushy-tailed you look today.
Thank you.
What's happening? Anything good?
Nothing good.
No, kind of
we
bored?
still don't know who the next president is.
We don't?
No.
Oh.
Maybe tomorrow. Then again, maybe not.
And here I thought we were going to have the answer this morning. I thought that's what I was going to talk about.
Sorry.
I have to think of something else.
You have.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Maybe a cooking show would be
Kane and Company is adult in nature and is not suitable for all audiences. The content of this program is one that a truly free society would not attempt to censor or suppress.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome into Kane and Company. You and me on the radio till 1 o'clock this afternoon. Oh, baby, talking about whatever's on your mind. We're going to be talking about, actually, Election 2000 and all that's going on this weekend. How exciting.
They call me Cuban Pete. I'm the king of the rumba beat. When I play the maracas, I go chick, chicky, boom, chick, chicky, boom. Yes, sir, I'm Cuban Pete. I'm the craze of my native street. When I start to dance, everything goes chick, chicky, boom, chick, chicky.
437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 in your cellular one.
It's very nice.
Good morning, good morning, good morning to all police and fire personnel, civil servants, healthcare employees, and my little buddy Chris. All right, baby. Let's get ready. First of all, I got to get Rick Shaw in here. Rick, come in here a minute. Get him in here and
Take a lesson from Cuban Pete.
I gotta show him something special. Where is he? Where is it? Get in here. I mean, you're walking around. He doesn't know what he's doing. I can't believe this. Come over here. Get in that microphone because I got something for you. First of all, you see that white box to your right?
Yes, I see it.
Okay, get it. Open it up. Open it up because we're going to see what's in there. This is from Crugnali's Bakery, Rick. From Crugnali's this morning.
Ooh.
The nice people at Crugnali's Bakery have given us something to munch on this morning.
If I can open it.
Oh, come on, just tear it open. What is the matter with you? There you go. Jeez, you're like people that want to save the paper at Christmas time. I hate that. Just tear it off.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. Now, hold it up. I haven't seen this. What's in there?
You haven't seen it? Yeah.
No, hold it up.
Good stuff in here.
Oh, that'll be good. Thank you very much. I'll take half of that, okay? Oh, look at this. Oh, my God. What is this? It looks like a wreath. It's all chocolate, and oh my heavens, there's Danish in here. I need something to put this on. I'm gonna get some. We gotta get some paper towel. Okay, would you do that? And then you can take that with you, and I'm gonna eat this.
Dave.
You're very welcome. Whatever this is, take that with you. Let the people at Score know, and give some to the counselor. From Crugnali's Bakery, a great way to start our morning this morning. You know, they have all great pastries, and I have got this piece of pastry. It's all got chocolate on it, covered in frosting. That is delicious. We gotta see some. This is delicious stuff. I really like this. Very good. And the telephone I'm going to call this morning is 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776. The star 630 in your cellular one. And the locations of Crugnali's Bakeries. I mean, I'll go half with you here, right? Isn't that delicious? What is this? Look, it looks like I don't know. It's like a cookie with chocolate in it. Really? Look at the mess I made. Crugnali's Bakeries, of course, 5 great locations. Corner of Newark and Valley Street. I need some paper towel, Rick. Newark and Valley Street, 567 Reservoir Avenue, 237 Newman Avenue in East Providence, Reservoir Avenue in Cranston, of course, and 805 Charles Street, where I got this morning, a whole box of this delicious pastry, 805 Charles Street, and 1342 Douglas Avenue, Angersrup, in Providence. Crugnali's Bakery, Joe Mager and the whole crew. This place has been open since 1917. But I can tell you this pastry is fresh. So come on, and try Crugnali's Bakery. My thanks to Joe and the crew. I'll tell you more about them later. Delicious. In the meantime, just you and I on the radio, 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776. Star 630 on your cellular one mobile phone. Whatever's on your mind, we'll talk about. While I have your attention while you're dialing up here, let me also plug for you, if I can, the Father Misgivings appearance. He's going to be next at the Unitarian Church in East Greenwich. Oh, easy to find. And here's the number to call for tickets for Father Misgivings at the Unitarian Church, 884-5933. 884-5933 for tickets to Father Misgivings. It's going to be December the 2nd. Saturday night, December the 2nd, at East Greenwich Unitarian Church. It's actually the Westminster Unitarian, I believe. Is that what they call it? Yeah, I think so. In any event, we invite you to come on down to the East Greenwich Unitarian Church, or Unitarian Church in East Greenwich. Telephone number to call for reservations, 884-5933. Okay? Alrighty, that's Misgivings, December the 2nd. And on December the 13th, Misgivings will return triumphant for Christmas back to White's. December the 13th, White's of Westport. The telephone number for reservations for dinner and show at White's, of course, is 508-675-7185. 508-675-7185, White's of Westport. Okay? All right, let me see what's getting cracking here. All sitting around this morning and doing what you want to do. We've been talking about the election, 2000. Myrna Lamb's going to be here at 1 o'clock this afternoon, and she's going to discuss this with you until 4. And I invite you to join us for that. Stay tuned until 1, and then join Myrna at 1 o'clock. And in the meantime, if you go online, you could vote as to whether or not there should be a re-vote in the state of Florida. WPRO listeners can cast their vote online at www.630wpro.com. And you can cast your vote as to whether or not there should be a revote 2000. And just for casting your vote, you could win yourself a trip to Orlando. Not that you'd want to go down there, but who knows. That's www.630wpro.com, where you can vote on the revote, okay? Joel is in Worcester on WPRO. Hi, Joel.
Hi, Dave. How you doing, kid?
Good.
Boy, a trip to Orlando to see Mickey Mouse, huh? Gee, I wonder who he voted for.
Well, there's been a Mickey Mouse election. So.
It sure has in the state of Florida. It's ironic that that Disney World is in Florida, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in Orlando.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, David, I'm a liberal Democrat, so I support Al Gore, but this litigation is a waste of time because the fact of the matter is he's not going to be able to pull out enough votes out of Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County to overtake Bush's lead.
Well, that may be true. That may be true, but
it is true. I believe it is true, David.
Well, that may be, but here's the problem. The problem is the cloud that hangs over the count as it is, and that's the problem that I have. I mean, I don't mind. See, I don't mind if he loses, but I want him to lose legitimately, and I want to feel as if he's lost legitimately.
Right.
And the same goes for whoever wins. I want them to feel, and me to feel, that they won fair and square.
Yeah.
And that's the problem that we have here, I think. I think that's the real problem. Because no matter who's elected, even if he was to pull it out or not pull it up, the new president's going to have half the country wanting to kill him.
Yeah.
I don't mean kill him. Let me rephrase that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not in favor of him.
No, it's going to be tough to govern. It's
going to be impossible.
Yes, it will be. It'll be... many say a legitimate presidency, no matter who wins.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to go on with that. I frankly don't.
But this vote, if the Florida Supreme Court allows the hand ballot returns to count, I don't think it's going to matter at all. I think it's a moot point. I think it's over with.
Well, the voting may be a moot point, but the legitimacy is not.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that because I'd like to see a recount, but I think there should be a recount in all counties in Florida, David.
It's okay with me. Yeah, that's all right with me, sure.
And Al Gore would definitely lose.
Well, I don't know. I don't know who'd lose what. I guess so, but I mean, again, I'm not jumping to get Al in. I just would like. I mean, this has shown how really awful this is.
Yeah,
I mean, yesterday.
Is awful.
Yeah, and yesterday we heard the words fraud coming out. I mean, this isn't fraud. At best, this is incompetence.
And now Republicans are complaining that the Democrats are throwing out, military ballots by by at least 1,000 votes. 1,000 ballots have been thrown out by Democrats.
Right.
Did you hear that?
Oh, sure. There's charges all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean,
David,
good heavens.
David, in closing, I just think that we should have a uniform ballot across the nation.
Yeah.
We should all vote the same way, It should be a federal law that all those ballots should be exactly the same from coast to coast. And that way, I think we wouldn't have as many problems.
Mm-hmm. Well,
you know, but these every county in Florida, for example, could have a different ballot.
yes.
Yeah, and that's just, that's just totally crazy.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's one of the things I think we're learning and we're going to find out about. And it isn't just Florida. It's just that Florida got the light flashed on it. But, I mean, it's everywhere, this same kind of foolishness.
It is.
And I mean, this is so important in why people, A, don't vote, B, don't care, C, want to, just somebody give in. That's it. Just give in. I don't care who it is. I mean, suggesting that Al Gore, as an example, just throw in the towel.
Yeah.
You know, right or wrong. I mean, you're just throwing the towel. I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't know. We'll see. Okay, Joel, thanks a lot.
Okay, take care, kid.
Bye-bye now. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we go to Tiverton, where Uncle Jeff awaits.
Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Uncle Jeff. Have you got our winning lottery numbers for this morning? Now, Jeff,
be up to $92 million.
$92 million, Jeff. But you know, I'm out $5 now, Jeff.
I won $7.
Oh, sure. Well, send me 5. Send me 5, Jeff. Because I mean, because of you, I'm playing these foolish numbers, and I'm out $5 now.
Well, was Santa Claus at the mall?
Santa Claus did arrive at the mall. Yes, he certainly did.
Was Salty there?
No, Salty was not there.
He didn't?
No.
Maybe sometime he might get
Salty
there.
was playing the lottery, I think.
The
not that he
Powerball
needs
numbers
it. Salty has, Salty has $92 million. Did you know that?
02.
Now, wait a minute, Jeff, are you listening to me? I'm talking to you here. I said, Salty has 92 million. You don't care.
02.
Okay, 02.
06.
06.
Number 31.
30. These are the same ones from last week.
32.
32.
Number 41.
41.
And the Powerball number 30.
30 this week, huh?
02, 06.
31, 32, 41, and 30.
And I think Gore should toss in that towel.
You think so, huh? Throw in the old towel, huh?
Yeah.
But why should he listen to you? You can't even pick a Powerball number. What the hell do you know about anything?
I'm getting there. You got some good dessert from that bakery?
From Crognali's Bakery. Oh, is it delicious, Jeff?
Can I come up some Sunday and...
No. You come up. We'll make sure you get something, okay, Jeff?
Okay.
All right, buddy. I'll see you later.
Nice talking to you.
Bye-bye. See you later.
Anna wants...
Tell Anna I said hi, all right? All right. 437-0630, telephone number to call. 437-0630, 1-800-321-WPRO, star 630 on your cellular one. Isn't it amazing? Quiet on the phones right now because I guess the people who are really into this election are probably watching Meet the Press right now. But that's all right. I'm sitting here waiting for your call. I want to talk about this because I am seeing so much emotion and so much, flailing of arms and screaming and crying and gnashing of teeth and, pulling of clothing. It is just unbelievable. In Palm Beach County, George Bush has just gained another 12 votes in Palm Beach County. His lead still stands at 930 votes in Florida. And this includes the overseas ballots in all counties, by the way. Now, that is not the official count. That is an AP count. But still, a count. And one that you probably find yourself interested in. I do. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your cellular one. And as I'm watching this and I'm hearing all of the more it goes on, the more desperate people seem to be becoming. The more angry, the more frustrated, the more fearful. More charges of... the Republicans came out and talked about fraud. And then they proceeded to describe old people who are tired and making mistakes. I don't think that's fraud. I think that's probably old people tired who are making mistakes. But these are the kinds of things that you're watching happen, and you're thinking to yourself, at least I am. How does the United Nations do it? I mean, here we have two political parties, both from the same country, both from standings of understanding the law, and yet the workout that we're giving each other the problems we're giving each other on this. And, one wants to go to court, okay, and then the other wants to go to court, and, oh, no, you can't go to court because I went to court, and then it's awful to go. I mean, I don't understand this. We have these policies in place. We have the laws in place. We have the rules in place, and you have the setup for appeals, injunctions, rulings. Now, this might be a big nightmare to you, and I guess it is to most of us. But if we do this right and learn from this properly, I think we'll find ourselves better off all the way around. This is one of those tunnels you have to go through in life. The darkness of the tunnel, if you will. And it's not great going through the tunnel, but after you see the light at the end, you say to yourself, oh, okay, great. We can make something happen here. We can turn this around for ourselves. We can make sure it doesn't happen again, not only in Florida, by the way, but in many of the other towns and states where it is just crazy, just nuts. I mean, it gets crazier and nutsier everywhere. That's all right. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your cellular one. Let's have some balance here. Get some balance. Mary!
Oh, Coventry.
Hey.
Dzień dobry.
Yeah, how's by you?
Oh, hanging in there.
Dzień dobry.
At least the sun's shining.
What'd you say to me, Dzień dobry? What?
Dzień dobry. Jak się masz?
Oh, jak się masz. There you go.
I got the wrong thing.
Yeah, don't watch out now.
With the elections.
I'm going to think you're a different Mary from Coventry.
Listen, it's sad around the holidays, this kind of news.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
It's sad.
Well, what do you want to do about it?
Well, I don't know. Do the right thing. Like some gentleman suggested, have the same way of voting all over the U.S.
Yeah, yeah.
And that sounded pretty good. I don't know.
Well, I don't know either. I think that the whole thing is nuts, but the good news is, like I said, is that we're going to be able to maybe get our act together finally in the election.
Right. But like I said, let it be honest, not crooked, for whoever gets it.
Mm.
I had my favorite, who, GB.
Yeah.
So now I don't care which one gets in, but let it be honest and not crooked.
Now, why have you changed your mind as to who gets in? I mean, why have you said you don't care now?
Because it's getting so boring. It's lasting too long.
But this is important, Mary.
It's lasting too long.
Why are people saying that? It's too boring, so you don't care.
It's sickening.
Where's your staying power, Mary?
It's a shame.
That's
why
sickening.
it had to come. Why it had to come to this.
Yeah.
In the year 2000.
I know, isn't it awful?
Unbelievable.
Okay, babe.
But I suppose things could be worse, and hope for the best,
all right.
but expect the worst, and that's life.
Maybe when all this is over, we will have elected a Polish pope.
Maybe this will come to something good.
Right.
Some bad things sometimes turn to good or vice versa.
All right.
I missed Tata last night.
Oh, well, we didn't have it last night. I ran out of it. Yeah, ran out.
Special program was good.
Today we'll have one, okay?
All righty.
All right, honey. I'll see you later. Bye-bye. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776. Star 630 in your cellular one. You ever feel sometimes like you're in a conversation all by yourself? 437-0630, 1-800-321-WPRO, talking about Election 2000, Indecision 2000, the battle for the White House. You name it, we're talking about it today. And at 1 o'clock this afternoon, Myrna Lamb will be here until 4, and Evelyn's in Blackstone on WPRO. Hi, Evelyn.
Hi. I was listening, and you were saying maybe next time we have an election, they'll make it better. I hope they ask for an ID card.
Mm-hmm.
Because I could have voted for my sister. I could have voted for my daughter.
Yeah.
Just say my name and the address. That's it. I had brought my license along thinking that they would ask me for an identification, but they didn't.
Yeah, I think that's important, too. We don't do it in Rhode Island, either. You don't have to present any identification.
I think that's so important. I hope they don't miss out on that.
Mm-hmm. Well, that'll be one thing we could change, huh?
Yeah.
Mm. And what else do you think we should be doing to change things?
Well, everyone has the same ballot or whatever.
Oh, the same ballot. Yeah, that would make
in all the states.
And no butterfly ballots.
No.
All right. Thanks a lot, Evelyn.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye now. Joe is in Coventry. Hi, Joe. You're on WPRO. Whoops. Hi, Joe. You're on WPRO.
Hi, Dave. I like this format a lot better than your normal format with the questions.
Yeah.
How the hell do I know who killed Jennifer Rivera? I bet you that guy Diaz knows.
I think he may.
We should squeeze it out of him.
Yeah, well,
you and I get down and strong arm him.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Dave,
I'll meet you there.
If you listen to Al Gore last week, he said that he's not going to decide this election, and neither is Governor Bush or the Secretary of State in Florida, that the people of the United States of America, and I think we should have a new election just for the presidency, a one-day affair, and forget the Electoral College. Just let the people decide by the popular vote and see how that shakes out.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that because, I heard somebody say the other day, well, look at George Bush. Look at all the red states. He's got the heart of America. But, then on Chris Rock's show on TV the other night, I saw they pointed to, like, New York, 20 million people, and there's nobody in the middle of America, So maybe the popular vote's the way to go.
I think it's the only way to satisfy the nation and to calm us all down.
We'll give it a shot.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye now. 437-0630. George is in Cranston on WPRO. Hi, George.
Good morning, Dave.
Yes, sir.
Dave, national and international events. Things do not just happen by themselves.
Right.
Everywhere, Dave, there are opposing forces of all description.
Right.
And you need somebody, Dave, to bring about stability or instability between them. There has to be another force other than the two opposing forces to create these national and international events, or whatever they may be. So, and there is a greater force than the United States government or any government throughout the world.
George, you know what? I just realized I'm up against news. Can you hang on? I'll let you finish your thought.
All right.
Hang on. Only be a minute, okay? Let me put George on hold here. Because I forgot to. It's Sunday morning means we got to go to news, and so we will do that at 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776. Colleen awaits. I'm sorry, Colleen.
No problem, Dave. I'm Colleen Lima, WPRO First News.
Did you eat anything else besides the little cruller we shared with each other?
Not yet, no.
Oh, but you're about to.
Give me time.
Thanks a lot, Colleen. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776. George was in the middle of a point. Okay, George, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Like I said, everywhere there's opposing forces of all description.
Right.
And you see, Dave, you have to have another force to create disunity or, I'm looking for the words here, or dissension or division.
Okay, so let's make it to our point now. Your point is?
My point is that what is happening down in Florida is creating more division and more dissension. And fragmenting a country that is already fragmented. Is that true or not?
I'm listening to you.
All right. Well, okay. So anyway, Dave, these forces, they're beyond your imagination. They're so huge in their method of operation. They control world commerce.
Well, I'm confused about some of your rhetoric because I believe that you have really thought this stuff out and you really have, a good view on things. But the problem is when you present it, it almost sounds futile to continue living.
No, please, sir, please. Yeah. You see, Dave, governments and ruling classes, they generally find little advantage in a populace that is healthy, happy, and self-control. God forbid, if we were all healthy, happy, and self-control, we wouldn't need these authorities looming over us. These doctors who bring us into their operating rooms and their sophisticated medicine and chemicals, and they're killing us.
All right, okay, George. Okay, now you get off on these things now, and you just get to your point. What are you saying we ought to do?
Well, I'm trying to tell you, sir, that they do not find any advantage in a populace that is healthy, happy, and self-control.
Ergo, what?
Huh?
Therefore, what?
Well, I mean, it'll always be this way. It will get worse. It will get better. It will get worse and get better as the human condition continues. But see, they're over us. They do create instability among the masses. And if we were all stable, they wouldn't have any power.
This is not a positive presentation you're giving me.
What the hell are you talking about? If there was no instability, they wouldn't have any.
What I'm talking about is that you're rambling and you're not suggesting any. You're not suggesting any cure to it.
Dave, it's
no, don't stop Dave and me. I'm talking to you here.
It's something you don't hear every day.
I know, but it's and the reason you don't is because you don't say anything. You go on and on, and you don't say anything.
I don't think you have the mental capacity, Dave.
Well, then call somebody else. Call somebody else then, okay? You find somebody who's got the mental capacity, because I'm an idiot, obviously, George. I mean, don't call up and tell me that the whole world's going to hell in a handbasket and there's nothing we can do about it. I mean, this is charming. I mean, that's charming. It's got nothing to do with what's happening in the world right now, as far as I am concerned. I don't have the mental capacity. I'm a moron. And so, therefore, why would you waste your time, George? Move on. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your cellular one. Come along with me to my little corner of the world. Listen, one thing that really gets me going is when people have decided or tell me that there's nothing they can do, nothing that can be done. This is just the way it is. And, that's it. And, George said, well, it'll get better, then it'll get worse. Then it'll get better, then it'll get worse. What the hell does that mean? Hello? I must really be a moron. I'm not catching this guy at all. So I must really be stupid, and George must really be smart. And I think if George is that smart, George should run for office. That's what I think. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 in your cellular one. But certainly don't waste your time telling me about it. Don't waste your time telling me. Because it's pointless. Right? Right. And I'm hearing people say, I'm tired of talking about this now. I'm tired of this now. I watched two people today at Dunkin' Donuts. They were standing in front of me, and there was only one girl on, and she had a big order to do, and these two people kept looking at each other, and then, like they're going to the emergency room or something. They're in this big hurry. And this is one of the problems with what's going down in Florida. We have been brought up in this society to think you got to have it today. Actually, you got to have it yesterday. And for people to say, well, why don't you just give up to George Bush or to Al Gore or to George Bush if he had been trailing? Well, just give up. That's it. You just throw in the towel. You'll have a chance next year, next time. you'll have a chance next time. You can be the mayor. We'll let him be president for now, and then you get to be president another time. We'll share it. Without regard for the importance of this, without regard for how much you can change in the world if you only would, but you're afraid and you're tired and you don't want to. You're not interested in it. You want what you want now. You want it without ramification. You want it without trouble. You want it without problems. You just want what you want, and you want it now. Shame on you. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your cellular one mobile phone. It's you and I on the radio until 1 o'clock. At 1 o'clock, Myrna Lamb comes in, and she will be at your beck and call until 4 to talk about this issue, whatever's on your mind as it pertains to Election 2000. So you stay tuned where it is right now at 630 WPRO. Time to decorate. Hey, my buddies Bob and Vivian Bartlett right now are at Superior Interiors, and they have a 25% off sale going on in all Brewster wall covering. That's right. I mean, wait till you see the selection they have of wallpaper books. I mean, they've got everything, all kinds of designs and styles and colors. And, of course, they have the laser borders and so much more. Great names like Andover and Beacon House and Studio Designs and Mayfair Jolie and so many more. All from Brewster. You got to check it out at Superior Interiors, Route 1 North Attleboro, just north of Emerald Square Mall, across from the cinemas. Easy to find. The telephone number is 695-2528 in North Attleboro, 695-2528. We're Superior. Superior Interiors. Route 1 North Attleboro. Go out there and tell them Dave Kane sends you. For everything in your place, we're Superior. 437-0630, 1-800-321-WPRO, and the star 630 on your cellular one. You and me on the radio until 1 o'clock this afternoon. Of course, at 1 o'clock, it is Myrna Lamb until 4 in the afternoon. You and me together until that time, and we're talking about the election 2000. And don't forget now, you can vote as to whether or not you think the state of Florida should vote on a re-election, and you can do it online. That's right. WPRO listeners can vote online at www.630wpro.com. Who knows, you could win yourself a trip to Orlando just for voting as to whether or not there should be a re-vote in Florida. And again, that's at www.630wpro.com. And of course, you can get on there, make your determination as to whether or not you think the state of Florida should start over again. And keep listening to WPRO for updates, by the way, on the results of what's happening. Right now, of course, nationally, you know that George Bush, at least in Florida, is leading by 930 votes. There's all kinds of charges. The word fraud has been brought about. People are angry with people for taking legal steps that are allowed to them, that are in place for them. Automatic appeal processes and moving to a higher court, et cetera, et cetera. But you and I can be the winners of this thing. You and I can be the winner when it comes to all of this if we decide to make it that way. Now, what's going on in Florida right now is nothing new. It's nothing that hasn't gone on in states all over the country. In one form or another, little tiny town elections, regional elections, district elections, dead people voting. God, you had Conahan, he was dead and he won the office, for God's sakes. You had dead people voting, you got dead people running and winning. What's the difference? So what we have to do is look at all of this and decide exactly how we are going to make this work for us. Far beyond this particular presidential race. Now, certainly this is important, especially when you stop to realize that you have, you stop to realize you have the Supreme Court appointments that could be happening, right? Supreme Court appointments happening, maybe as many as 4. Who do you want to make them? Well, you've already done your voting. Now you got to find out if your vote is counting. Now you have the charges that the Democrats are messing with absentee ballots. I mean, it's astounding. They're talking about fraud. They're talking about fraud. Fraud is a very tough word. A very tough word. By the way, speaking of the election results as it pertains to the re-vote in Florida, I just checked Rick Shaw just checked for me the online vote right now in Florida, and 59% of the people who have voted online have suggested that there should be a re-vote in Florida. 59%. 41%, of course, have suggested that there should be no re-vote. I'm asking you, too, do you think, could we go back and just start over? If you're a Bush supporter, how upset would you be if we just went back and started over? How angry would you be if we just said, you know what, we're going to do this again? Now, I've heard so many Republicans talk and say, they just want to recount until they get the answer they want. I don't want them to recount until they get the answer they want. I'd like them to recount until we got something that looked like the same answer twice. Is that outrageous? Is that too much to ask? Is that too much to ask? And what if we did have a re-vote in Florida? Do you think that would go anywhere toward making sure that everybody gets a chance to really be heard, to really have their vote really count? Or is all of this nuts? Is all of this pointless? Well, maybe it is. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your cellular one. I mean, you tell me about this. Maybe I've missed it. Maybe I've missed it. But I think the reality is that the bottom line basically is that there have been screw-ups from the beginning. here. And those screw-ups, certainly, have gone a long way to mess us all over. We need to start over. If not in the actual vote, we need to maybe back up and start over all over the place. And like several Republicans are suggesting, it shouldn't be just Democratic voters. It should be everybody. Not just Democratic districts to be recounted. Helen is in Coventry in WPRO. Hi, Helen.
Hi, Dave?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Dave, I called to tell you, even with this election, all that's going on, and I'm hoping, like, the right one gets it, like you. I agree with you 100%. But I called to tell you this. I certainly enjoy your program. You really make my day.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
You're calm. You don't get excited about it. And this is what I enjoy.
You got to be... I get excited about everything, Helen.
I'm not your mother.
I get me calm. You can even Rick Shaw doesn't believe that.
Yes, you're calm. I really enjoy you, Dave. Sunday is a long day for me.
Yeah.
But when I put you on, it certainly goes by the 4 hours so fast. I enjoy you.
Well, thank you so much for calling. And you know what? You read it just the way I wrote it. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, honey. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Bye-bye now. 437-0630. When you type it out and send it to them, they'll call you back and read them to you. And it really makes you feel good, and she didn't make one mistake. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your Cellular One mobile phone. We're talking about Election 2000. And now I'm going to make a prediction, Rick. You watch these phones at 11 o'clock when Meet the Press is over. Watch the phone light up. Watch the phones light up. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776. Star 630 on your Cellular One mobile phone. In case you just joined us, of course, all weekend long, we're live and local. At 1 o'clock this afternoon, Myrna Lamb will be here until 4, and she'll continue our conversation, making things happen for you on this election. Donna is in Johnson on WPRO. Hi, Donna.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you.
I have a comment on what should be done.
Yep.
I think they should let President Clinton stay in another year or do another term and hold the election all over again. How's that sound?
Probably sounds good to you, Donna. I think we got a couple of Republicans who are going to be a little upset about it.
Well, that's okay. That would be the only fair thing to do.
Oh,
Don't you think so?
Well, no, it's unlawful. It's unlawful. He can't do that.
Why?
But because he's not allowed to stay in. He's only allowed...
Huh?
No, it's just against the law. Other than that, it's a good idea.
Yeah, right, huh?
All right, honey. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ray is on a cell phone. Hi, Ray.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
I've been listening to this just on the radio on my way into where I'm going to work, and the thing that everybody seems to be missing is I keep hearing, maybe they're not missing it, but I keep hearing everybody's vote should be counted. They need to have a chance to vote.
Yeah.
I think everybody did have a chance to vote, and I'm not saying what should or should not be done, but not saying fraud is coming into effect, but when the rules change throughout the counts, it just seems absurd. And I think if Mr. Gore wanted a fair and total tally of the votes when he asked for a recount, he would have asked to recount the whole state. And I just think that's reasonable.
Yeah, I think it's okay with me to recount the whole state. It's okay with me.
I'm sorry.
I said it's okay with me.
Well, I know, but my point was now Al Gore has asked for a recount of the whole state, which is past the time where it can be done. If he wanted an accurate count of what the people thought, and he thought that a hand count was the way to do it, why didn't he just ask for a count of the whole state?
Well,
right
because they've done their numbers, and when they realized that these districts did not come through for him the way they should have, and when you had so many people voting for Buchanan who wouldn't have voted for Buchanan on a bet, he was talking about the areas where he thought there was probably some kind of problem. Originally I didn't have a problem with that.
Yeah. Well, it just seems to me that when you start trying to interpret the way someone votes, if a ballot is in question, it should be discounted, whether it's for Bush or Gore. Yeah, I don't think that you should be sitting there trying to interpret how someone would have voted.
Well, both sides are trying to interpret it, however.
It doesn't. There may be both sides there, but it just seems to me that a machine is totally impartial, and if it's going to throw out a vote, it's going to throw out a vote. Whether it's for Bush or Gore, the machine's not going to say this is for Gore, this is for Bush, or this is Dimple, or this is Frank.
Well,
it's impartial.
Well, no, it isn't. It may be impartial, but it is going to throw out something that isn't properly stamped. that isn't properly done. And if you made a mistake and voted for the wrong candidate because of the way the ballot was designed, as an example, as many people allegedly did, do you want to get screwed out of it because somebody was incompetent in the design of that ballot?
I think it goes more to the voters should know how to vote. And
Ray,
look at the
do you
directions it's doing.
answer my question? Do you want to be cheated out of your vote because of the poor design of the ballot? I mean, you made a mistake in your life, right, Ray? You've made a mistake,
sure I
right?
have, many.
Okay, so if something is set up that would contribute to the possibility of you making a mistake in something as important as your vote, don't you think you should have redress to make sure that that's not done?
Well, absolutely. But when I
Okay.
make a mistake, usually I suffer the consequences of my mistake and learn from that action and don't do it again.
Well, that would be fine if somebody wasn't tripping you.
I don't think somebody's tripping on when only 1% of the people in the state had a problem with the ballot. Or 1% of the people that voted. I'm sorry, I may be misspoken there.
Yeah. Well, okay, Ray. Thanks a lot.
Well, thank
All
you.
right. Bob's in Providence. Hi, Bob.
How you doing, Dave?
Yes, sir.
I think they should have another recount.
Mm-hmm.
You know, revote the whole thing. I think they should
Revote or recount?
A revote.
Start all over.
I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's such a mess on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
That you should start from a clean slate.
It's a big process, and then it's a big process.
Yeah.
I think what you need to is change the way they vote too, and then go from there. You go back to paper ballots, check it off, 2 names on it, check one, check the other. That's it.
There you go.
Right?
Make it simple, and that way everybody's happy.
Yep. And then the guy, whoever wins, can at least say, "Hey, I really won."
That's right.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Okay, Dave.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bob is on the cell phone. Hi, Bob. You're on WPRO.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
They can't do that either, only because the Republicans will come at them and say, well, there's already been a vote.
Yeah,
I mean, they won't like the outcome of that.
Right. This is the problem, isn't it, huh?
Right, but I've got a take on this revote, machine versus man.
Yep.
First of all, before they had machines, we counted by hand. There's going to be mistakes. They're right. The mistakes that they saw were just so out of line that's why they did it. But one of the guys who was from the company that does the machines was on MSNBC, and he said, let's put it this way. He said, if you had a choice of having the machine decide whether you live or die, or 4 people in a room who are subjectively going to say or make the right decision, and that decision would determine whether you live or die, which would you rather have? The machine make the decision, or these 4 people?
Right.
And he said, and he's from the company that made these machines. He said, I think I'd rather have it in the hands of 4 people making that decision.
Yeah, well, they've already admitted that there's room for error here, and my problem is that if the error allotment was 5% and you lost by 4%, wouldn't that tick you off?
Yeah, true. But one last thing, I've been watching it like a Celtics fan.
Yep.
It's they come down, hit a 3-pointer for the Republicans. The Democrats come back, they hit a 3-pointer, tie it up. One court says one thing, Harris says, no, I'm counting them out. They come back, no, she can't count them out. This thing is going to go back and forth. I think it's been very good for the American people because it's brought everybody into the elections. People want to have a say in their government, and maybe not for this particular election, but I think as you do down the road, that this will mean a big difference in watching our democracy at work.
I hope so, and I hope
My
it changes.
question,
Yes, sir.
Last question is, have they said anything about what the ratings are on, like MSNBC, your show,
Oh, geez.
CNN?
I know that I don't know about ratings. Our participation is very high. We've always had a high listenership on the weekends because we're the only live local. But now when we've added Myrna and Dan and Ron on the weekends to keep it going, certainly the participation is way up.
Yeah,
I mean, we
I've
haven't
been
had
mesmerized.
we haven't had dead lines with a couple of exceptions for a few seconds. People, waiting to call, when they think everything's full up. But other than that, we've had terrific calls.
Unbelievable.
Terrific. Thanks a lot.
All right.
Bye-bye now. Bill is in Westerly. Hi, Bill.
Yeah, hi. I just wanted to call attention to the argument that you just made a minute ago on if you were talking with a person that dialed in and you said, well, if you felt you were robbed out of your vote because, there was
something contributed to it, right?
Or contributed to it. Well, see, that's at the heart of the argument that the Republicans brought to the appellate court. And because here's the argument. If you're sympathetic to that argument, you have to say that all over the country, all over the United States, there are pockets of this kind of problem where there's old technology. So the heart of the argument the Republicans made was that you can't just focus this on 2 counties or 3 counties in Florida, because that's unconstitutional. It gives those voters whose mistakes are being corrected, let's say, a different treatment than all the other voters across the country.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I think if these Supreme Court justices down in Florida do in fact permit this hand count, this thing is eventually going to end up in the United States Supreme Court. And that's the argument that will be made.
Well, what's wrong with the hand count?
Well, what they're actually doing is to my understanding, of course I'm not there, but everything I've put together is that there are people who mis-executed their ballot. They didn't do it correctly. And there are instructions that tell them how to execute the ballot. So they didn't do it correctly, and for whatever reason...
Well, that's part of it. The other part of it, there is a challenge that the ballot itself was designed unlawfully.
Well, that kind of went away, didn't it?
No, nothing's gone away.
That's the Palm Beach ballot, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
right, but I mean, it hasn't gone away. I mean, the point is, if something's designed, and please understand, I'm not looking to get Gore in, okay, but I'm just saying, I'm trying to be as objective on this as possible. If something is designed poorly, and you're allowing human beings to do this, and there's something called contributory negligence, and I don't think just say, all right, the hell with it, you lost your vote. I don't think that's proper.
Well, I understand the sympathy side of that argument.
It's not about sympathy. It's about my right to vote. And maybe I didn't understand the ballot. Let's go you and me, okay? You understand the ballot because you just lucked out you understood the ballot. I don't understand the ballot, but the problem is that the ballot is designed so that there is an opportunity to misread it because of the way it was designed. Right. Therein lies the contributory negligence. The fact that you lucked out and you didn't screw it up doesn't mean that you should get your vote and I shouldn't, especially when there's a contributory negligence here.
But the other side of that argument is that whatever form that ballot was in, it was all done under the law. And it's not to say that governments don't make mistakes.
Isn't that funny? So is segregation. That was done under the law.
Well, now, see, that's not it. I mean,
well, wait a minute. If you're going to say to me, if you're going to say to me the law, if you're going to tell me that's the law and therefore it's not faulted, and it's suppose it's not wrong, it's law and that's it, then I have to point to something. There are many things in this world. Women didn't even have the vote 100 years ago, and that was the law too, sir. That's a specious argument. I don't care how many wrong laws there are or how many poorly designed ballots under the law there were. That's a specious argument. Talk to me about the realities of life.
Well, the realities of life on that ballot, if we go back to the Palm Beach ballot, because I don't think the other counties, that issue is in play in the other counties.
No, but that's just one of the many issues.
Well, but if you look at the Palm Beach ballot and look at the procedure that they went through to educate the voters, to explain the ballot to them, and a copy of that ballot was sent to every registered voter.
I know. None of that's got anything to do with it, because obviously many of the people it didn't register, and the problem comes because if I have to go through this much work to explain to you how to vote, there's a problem. If I've got to do that much education, how much education do you need to know to pull up your zipper? I mean, I don't have to do 40 blocks of this thing, right? Grab the little thing and pull it up.
Think about this, again, on the other side of that argument.
I'm up against news real quick. Last word. Go ahead.
I think there were 500,000 or so ballots cast in Palm Beach County. And out of those 500,000, there was some number like 20,000 that were thrown out for one reason or another. Not necessarily because...
I got to hold you there. I'm up against news, sir.
See what I mean?
Yeah, thank you. I'm up against news. I'd like to see what you mean when I have more time. Thank you.
The Rhode Island Community Food Bank is seeking donations in its goal to distribute 10,000 turkeys to needy families this Thanksgiving. WPRO is proud to support the Rhode Island Community Food Bank. I'm Colleen Lima, WPRO First News. It's 11:05, Kane and Company with your host. Dave Kane continues on News Talk Radio 630 WPRO.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to correct you. I hate to correct you, but did you say that Rhode Island or Providence is lousy in their waste recycling? Providence.
Yes.
How can you say that?
The lowest rate in the state.
How can you say that we are in Providence have failed to recycle our waste when we keep sending Buddy back to the mayor's?
Kane and Company is adult in nature and is not suitable for all audiences. The The content of this program is one that a truly free society would not attempt to censure or suppress.
I mean, Buddy has been reelected more times. Talk about recycling waste. I'm only kidding, Buddy. 437-0630, 1-800-321-WPRO, star 630 in your cellular one. And we're talking, of course, about election rejection 2000. And Chuck is in Harrisville. Hi, Chuck.
Hey, good morning, Dave.
Yes, sir.
You were talking about the vote for Pat Buchanan.
Yes.
In that area, last election, he got 8,742 votes.
Yep.
So I would not be surprised to have that be an accurate figure.
Well, the trouble is, of course, that he was up against different opponents.
Yeah, no, but also in that same area, another individual running on the Reform platform received 2,800 votes.
Then how do you suggest that Mr. Buchanan himself has said that he was astounded at that and that he didn't think that many of those votes were for him and that most of them were probably for Mr. Gore?
I don't know why he would.
I mean, if the candidate says that, then you and I are probably, not as equipped as he.
Well, depends.
No, wait a minute. Here's a guy that knows his stuff. He knows exactly where his votes are going to be, or pretty much where they're going to be, and he says that obviously those were not votes that were intended for him. I mean, he's made the statement. So if he knows that, why would you challenge it?
I would challenge it because of past history and, the people in that area, how they vote. They vote Reform.
But this is Pat Buchanan.
I know.
I mean, he knows better than you.
Well, okay, fine. I'm not.
Well, I mean, he does, doesn't he? I mean, he knows better than you, doesn't he?
You would think.
Okay.
But I'm just going on previous history of what happened.
I know. Yeah, I understand that. But he has that same knowledge, and he's already told you, forget that. But anyway, go ahead. What else did you have?
Well, I just wanted to question the fact about. I keep hearing the Gore campaign saying how every vote counts.
Yeah.
And then they turn around and say how they won the popular vote.
Well, they did.
Well, there were over 2 million popular votes that were not counted in this country.
Well, so far, though, he's leading, just like so far Bush is leading in Florida.
That's correct. But
okay, so far he's won the popular vote.
No, he's leading in the popular vote.
Okay.
He hasn't won the popular vote.
Okay.
They're the ones with the technicalities. Every time you turn on the TV, it's a hanging Chad, a dimple Chad, this or that.
So?
And so technicalities are technicalities.
Yeah, but, it's not just the Democrats doing that. I mean, the Republicans are sitting right next to the Democrats, and they're having the same conversation. And the Republicans are trying to get that dimpled Chad in their column as anybody else. I mean, that's just the reality.
Right, and the longer this goes on, with all of these Chads just sweeping off the floor and all of the...
Please.
Come on.
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
Come on, that's just silly. That's just too silly. You guys are just so tense. You're so afraid. Let's get a real count going on here. Let's cut the baloney. Let's stop this foolishness.
I agree with that. That's the point I was trying to make. It's foolishness what's going on.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it, Chuck. Yep. Tim is in Providence. Hi, Tim.
So how is your Chad hanging?
Hey, leave my Chad out of this.
That's a dimple?
Oh, baby.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, you'd love to see my dimple Chad. You're not kidding.
Yes.
What's up?
Yeah, it's a good thing you also said you were just kidding to Buddy. Yeah, that water in Providence River is pretty cold, buddy.
I'll end up with a pair of cement scuffies if this keeps up.
Absolutely.
Exactly, right. Go ahead.
Well, I'm part of the post-Meet the Press crowd, so these phones should be jamming.
Yeah, I know it. It's starting to cook now. I know it. Isn't that something, huh?
No, I'm actually becoming less and less interested in this entire process.
Are you really? I'm surprised at you.
I guess it's the burnout factor, I guess. It's just... The last thing in the world I would do would spend all my time watching MSNBC.
Yeah, but this is interesting to me because this is the same factor that you have with a kid who decides, he wants to go someplace and you don't want to let him go, your child, and so your child, come on, it just wears you down and eventually he gets his way. And I would think that the American public would be more resilient and say, oh no, we're doing this until we find out for real.
Perhaps it is, depending upon whether you have a real favorite, as someone, as you obviously know, who doesn't have a dog in this hunt, I'm just like, okay, so they, and each time I hear something, I just weigh it, the thousands of apparently military ballots that were thrown out because they didn't have a postmark, for example.
Yeah.
Just drives me crazy.
Of course, that's ridiculous. I mean, that's just absolute foolishness.
And people say, well, they mailed all these butterfly ballots to people, so therefore they should know what they're,
this is the specious argument of the, well, it's the law. Well, as I said, so is segregation. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
And I guess
that's
no
it. Well,
matter
let's do it then. You know.
And of course, I'm still waiting for the first, Langevin, Patrick Kennedy, or anybody else to say, okay, I'm going to fix this next time in Congress. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's the bill, guys? I mean,
yeah,
or do you just, quietly sit back and just let it happen?
Yeah, I think that this is an area where obviously technology has come back to bite us on the butt. And I think that it's about time we just maybe go back to basics. And just check off your winner or draw a line, and that's it.
Yeah. I mean, it's we have a fairly good, system here in the state.
I love the system here. I think it's one of the best things Langevin ever did. I'm very impressed with it, and I think it's great.
But what did you think about the? Have you followed this Vinagre situation? Because he apparently did get about 200 more votes.
Yes, but
people did not cross the line.
Yes. And I'm going to tell you something. I mean, I think that if they wrote in his name, that I think he ought to get the vote.
Yeah, that's certainly the intent.
Even though they were supposed to connect the line, there is that's a good example of the butterfly thing.
Right.
In other words, that's a good example of how, okay, technically you got to draw the line.
Mm-hmm.
But if I have written in a name, if I've taken the opportunity to whip out a pen and write this guy's name, obviously that's what I want to vote for. And if there are no other lines drawn to the other mayoral candidates, hello.
Yeah, exactly. There's no argument as to the intent and everything.
Yeah, and I mean, that's why I think this is a good ballot, and I think that's one of the things that should be considered. I mean, there's an example right there where you can talk about the intent of the voter.
Right.
And if you had it set up like that, you wouldn't, it'd be right in front of your face.
Well, my prediction, I'll leave you with this. My prediction, this will go to the U.S. Congress.
Okay, kid, thanks a lot.
See you later, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Paul's in Providence on WPRO.
Hello, Dave.
Hey.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Dave, I've been away for a while, and I just got back. What's the list I hear about the election? Is there a problem or something? What happened?
No. Everything's fine.
Oh, good.
No, everything's...
Well, that was my ta-ta for yesterday. I didn't get this. Boy, was I mad at you. I kept waiting. I said, what's this?
I apologize, but, we've been running so crazy with this.
I thought you were in a bad mood, so you said, oh, the hell.
No, not at all. Actually...
Running late.
We're running a little late, plus we had PC coming up, and I had to clear off the board so that, they could get in here to do PC, so it got a little crazy. But we'll have tatas today without fail.
Oh, okay.
Now you got to come up with one.
Oh, yeah.
That was
all right.
funny, though. That would have been funny.
Yeah, that would have been very good. Well, anyway, what do you think about the president going to Vietnam? I'll tell you what I think.
Go ahead.
Well, I think it's a little late, isn't he? I mean, he's the draft dodger.
They wanted him to go before.
I hear about him. He's the draft dodger. Now he goes, I think the war's over. I think it's safe to go down. He certainly waited long enough.
It's a really interesting thing to see this. This, we're going to hold the grudge no matter what for the rest of our lives kind of thing, I think that's too bad.
Well, I don't blame him, actually. I don't blame anybody for not wanting to go to a war that they didn't start. But why should you get a letter in the mail saying, okay, we're going to give you a gun, we're going to send you up to some foreign country, you might get killed. Good luck,
Well, I don't know. I mean, especially now when you know what the reality was, and especially now when you know people like McNamara who admitted lying to us from the beginning on that thing. One of the biggest problems that I think the Vietnam vets have is the fact that those, quote, draft dodgers and those people who were against the war turned out to be right. And that's a tough road to hoe,
Yeah.
I mean, this is my country, love it or leave it thing. And I'm going to go if they tell me. I hope in modern-day America that's going to change. It should be changing now. I mean, look at it. We got boys all over the world, for God's sake.
Yeah, they should take all the violent people who like to kill people anyway and get more. They should kill the right people. I mean, shootings
That's
every
a good
day.
idea. Yeah, instead of sending them to prison, draft them.
Yeah. If they like to shoot people anyway, we're going to give you a gun. You can shoot the right people at least.
There you go.
I got a lot of good ideas today.
Yeah, release Jeffrey Dahmer in Kuwait. Yeah, that'll fix you, boy.
Yeah.
Come home with Saddam Hussein in a plastic baggie.
Yeah, give them all something to do, So
all right.
People over here, they can shoot people over there.
You're getting there, babe. I'll see you later.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Leslie's in Smithfield on WPRO. Hey, Liz.
Good morning, Dave. How you doing?
Good.
I missed the end of your show last night. I went to a turkey trot.
Really?
And I won a turkey.
Uh-huh.
And, of course, I think his name is Harold.
Yeah, he's been sleeping on your couch ever since. Thank you. Yeah.
And I have to live with him now.
You've dated a few turkeys in your life, I'm sure.
This thing about what the previous caller was saying about Clinton going to Vietnam.
Yes.
They're mad at him because he didn't go 30 years ago. Now they're mad at him because he's going.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah. Well, that was my. Let me give you an idea. You know what I think they messed up was I think that if the United States government had wanted to keep gays out of the military, all they had to do was start drafting them.
That's true.
Right? I mean, this thing about you can't be a member of a company. If you drafted them, they'd be protesting and they didn't want to go.
Yeah.
Right?
It's another no-win situation.
Yeah, can't win. Now he got in trouble because he didn't go. Now he gets in trouble because he doesn't go.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, God almighty.
Well, hell, nobody's saying anything now about Dan Quayle, who got into the Indiana National Guard, so he didn't have to go.
And he's still not going.
That's right.
He's still not going.
And, I mean, at least Clinton is making an effort to...
and then, you know what's really silly about all of this? Yeah, you know what's really silly about all of this? And then you had Al Gore, who went, right?
Yeah.
But it didn't count because he was a journalist. You know what I mean? But that didn't count.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. Because
No, that doesn't count. No. I mean, the silliness of this foolishness.
Yeah, of course.
The absolute craziness of that. Well, that doesn't count.
He's no count anyway.
Yeah, well, maybe, I don't know.
They're telling us.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's funny to see what happens.
Yeah,
you know,
well,
I mean,
it's typical.
And I don't know why Americans, and I mean, this is probably where the ugly American vision comes from. Why Americans want to insist on staying angry with former enemies. You know, I mean, not realizing that the world moves on. I mean, you have fights with friends, and then you kiss and make up, or at least coexist. You know, move on.
This country doesn't want to get over it. I mean, that's why we still have Victory Day in Rhode Island. We don't want to get over it.
Plus, Vietnam was invaded. Hello, it was invaded by the French. It was invaded by these people.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they came over and started, bombing.
And it wasn't like the whole of South Vietnam was pro-West and pro-staying separate, because look at all the Buddhist monks that kept setting themselves on fire in the streets protesting. It was the people who were in power who were a different religion who didn't want to,
Well, the thing is with Clinton is that no matter what he does, he's screwed. I mean, there's just the people who hate him really hate him.
Yes,
I mean, really hate him.
I mean, there's a lot of things to dislike greatly about the man, but there are some things to like about him.
There are some things that he has done that you may not like, but I mean, to dislike the man.
Yeah.
And to, I mean, please, let's get a clue. It's what I've been trying to do with this election 2000 thing. Let's get all of the rhetoric and all of the anger and all of the sissy fits out of this, and let's talk about the realities.
Yep.
And what's wrong with this system.
And let's hope that maybe we can go into the new century with a nice clean slate and get rid of all this crap in this infighting.
Ganda do. Ganda do. You know what I mean? It's Italian. It means fat chance.
Yeah, I know. That's the only kind I know about.
All right. See you later. Bye-bye.
Cat rule.
Thank you. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your cellular one mobile phone. You and me on the radio until 1 o'clock this afternoon. Myrna Lamb will be in until 4, from 1 to 4, talking about these very issues. And I don't know, maybe I'm the only one within a stone's throw from here, I don't know, that sees this more as an issue of getting our act together. It's not about whose ox was bushed here. It's about so many other things. It's about the ability to get a fair election and the ability, listen to this now, the ability not to be able to charge that there isn't a fair election. See, one of the big problems out of Florida is that whether or not it's, real or not real, the appearance that there is some bad dealings here in Florida, not fraud, not intentional bad dealings, but incompetence. Incompetence and stupidity. And again, it isn't just Florida, it's all over the country. So maybe we can at least start to deal with that. And the thing about it is that if we have all of this going on, it gives the other side, whoever the other side is, something to point to and say, see? That's why, see? Look at that, see? But if you had your act together, they couldn't do it, could they? Whoever they are. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your cellular one. Nobody on my line. Lines are clear for the first time this weekend, really major. And so if you'd like to get on the line, we're talking about election 2000. And we'd like to get your take on it, however it goes.
Kane and Company. WPRO.
If you're looking for a place to fix your car, a place that you can trust, somebody that you know will know the answer to what your problem is and tell you just how to take care of it, well, you want to talk to my buddy Zeke at Fiore's Automotive. They're on 1 Plimpton Street in North Providence. Now, listen, this is easy to find. It's right across the street from the North Providence High, little side street there called Plimpton Street. And he's got a little 2-car garage. It's not a big place. It's not some mega complex. You know, it's not 40 employees who don't care. This is Zeke Fiore, great guy, and he will tell you just what you need to know. He'll fix your car the right way at a price you can afford, and he will tell you exactly how soon he can do it and do it well. Here's the phone number to call, 831-9292. 831-9292. His name is Zeke. The name of the place is Fiore's Automotive, right across the street from North Providence High. You be sure to give him a call and tell him that Dave Kane sent you. Make your appointment. Let him check out your car. 831-9292. Fiore's Automotive. 437-0630, 1-800-321-WPRO. And star 630 on your cellular one. Jonathan is in Fall River. Hi, Jonathan. You're on WPRO.
Hi.
Hi.
What do you think of the this process that they're doing, the electoral college thing about the states? What do you think of that?
What do I think of it?
Yeah. Do you think?
Go ahead.
Do you think it's Do you think that? I think they should just count all the votes there are, and whoever gets the most votes wins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have a tendency to lean toward that. Of course, this was designed originally so that you know, larger states don't have it over the little ones. You know, like Rhode Island only has 4 electoral votes. You know, Florida has 25.
Yeah.
You know, but I think you're right. I think I'd rather see just a popular vote if we could get a vote right, Jonathan. Right?
Yeah, because it's all messed up because they have to wait for the overseas and everything. So.
Well, the overseas is okay with me. I mean,
yeah,
but make sure you got it. Now, how old are you, Jonathan?
I'm 10.
Great. I'm glad you're in. Are you interested in this stuff?
What do you say? Yeah.
How come?
Well, I really hope Bush wins, and I just like it.
You like the whole thing?
Yeah.
Finding it. Now, what grade are you in?
I'm in 5th.
5th grade, huh? You good grades?
Yeah.
I can imagine. Yeah. Boy, when I was in 5th grade, you know, I was in 5th grade for 9 years, Jonathan.
You were?
Yeah, they finally graduated me. I got too big for the desk, so they had to get me to another class. But listen, I'm glad you called me. And have you got anything else you'd like to tell me?
Yeah. What do you know those late shows with like Jay Leno and stuff?
Yes.
David Letterman.
Yeah.
Do you think it's like they're making fun of? Do you think they're making fun of them when they're joking about, or?
Oh, sure they are. That's their job, though.
Oh yeah, but
you know, they're like the court jester. You know what I mean? It's their
yeah.
job is to pick on people.
Yeah, well, they need. My dad says they need humor because it's so you know how it is.
Well, you know, Jonathan, I feel that humor and the ability to laugh is a gift from God.
Yeah.
And I think we can't lose our sense of humor, right, Jonathan?
No.
All right. Hey, listen, I'm glad you called. Will you call me again sometime?
Sure.
All right. Thanks a lot, buddy.
All
Bye-bye.
Bye.
437-0630, 1-800-321-9776. Here's John in Pawtucket. Hi, John.
Yes, hi.
Yes.
Listen, I got a excerpt here from that Thomas Jefferson wrote back to the state of Virginia.
Yeah.
I'd like to read it to you.
Okay. How long is it?
Well, it isn't too long. I think I can get by it within a couple hours.
Okay, a couple hours? Good. All right,
No,
good.
I'm only kidding you.
Yeah.
Listen,
you go
now,
ahead
let
and
me
start.
read it
We'll
to
be
you.
back at you. Yeah.
This is a fundamental and constitutional rights. I think it applies today. Is a government, is it the kind of protection we receive in return for the rights we give up? Besides, the spirit of the times may alter, will alter. Our rulers will become corrupt, our people careless. A single zealot may commence prosecutor, and better men be his victims.
Mm-hmm.
It can never be too often repeated that the time for fixing every essential right on a legal basis is while our rulers are honest and ourselves united. From the conclusion of this war, we shall be going downhill. It will not then be necessary to resort every moment to the people for support. They will forget themselves, but in the sole faculty of making money, and will never think of uniting to effect a due respect for their rights. The shackles, therefore, which shall not be knocked off at the conclusion of this war, will remain on us long, will be made heavier and heavier till our rights shall revive or expire in a convulsion.
Yes.
Now, this was written by Thomas Jefferson to the state of Virginia in 1785. Don't you think he had a lot of, had a lot of perception, a lot of depth?
Well, not only that, but I think if you hadn't told us who wrote it or when it was written, somebody would suggest to you that it was written probably last week.
Yeah, it's a very, and here's a later thing that even supports his.
Well, I can't have you reading everything, John, because
but let me tell you this anyhow, and then you can kick me off.
Okay.
This is August 9th, 1986. Justice for all eludes U.S. Judge maintains. Washington, the United States, marred by the ugly inequities, still does not alter justice. Does not offer justice for all, Supreme Court Justice William J. Brennan said Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he spoke in front of a group in New York City of lawyers and other business people.
Yep.
And he goes on down and say that there's corruption within our government.
Well, what a surprise, John. I can't believe that, John. That can't be possible.
Well, I got this right here, and I got... Hey, and, what I'm trying to say is our problem is none of us have a conscience because our Constitution wasn't based on conscience.
All right, thank you, John.
It was based on greed and money and materialism.
All right, thanks a lot, John.
And we'll always have more problems.
All right, buddy. I'm going to give you George's number. You guys can talk to each other. Paul is in Swansea on WPRO.
Hi, how you doing? First-time caller.
Hey, Paul, hang on 1 minute, will you? Because I'm going to get punched in the face. I forgot to go to news. Only 1 minute, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Hang on a minute, boy. This girl, she gives me this look, and I know I'm in deep trouble if I don't do this.
Shame on you, Dave.
Now, see, we have to be nice to each other, Colleen. The judge said. So I'll try to think of something nice to say to you.
Okay.
How about for a fat girl, you don't sweat much? Is that good? No, I guess not. Bye. Thank you. Okay, now here you go, Elaine. You're on. Paul, you're on WPRO.
Hi, how you doing?
Okay.
I just have to say one thing. Is it my understanding? I've only been listening for about half an hour. My understanding is that you're saying that the people of Florida were not given their right to vote.
I'm saying that many of the people who attempted to vote were confused by a ballot that was mal-designed.
By the Democrats.
No, by Democrats and Republicans.
By Democrats. Well, it was approved by Democrats.
Democrats can be idiots, as I'm sure you're going to say. So, I mean, so they're idiots. That's fine with me. They're incompetent. That's fine. And they gave them a ballot that was flawed. Yes.
But we have to be careful here because they were not denied their right to vote. They did not exercise it properly. They did not take the responsibility.
Yeah, I know. That's all the great words. The problem is that, there's what's called contributory negligence. And if you have to go through the jump through the hoop stuff that they had to go through to tell everybody how to vote before the election.
I saw that ballot, and I don't think anybody had to jump through any hoops. I think it was pretty straightforward.
Except it was unlawful.
How was it unlawful?
Under Florida law, it was unlawful.
How?
Because in Florida law, it states that the two major parties will be first and second, and the other parties will begin at third. And based on that ballot, the first one of the major parties was on top. The next hole was for Buchanan, and the third hole was for Gore.
Yeah, but you're not reading the holes. You're reading the names.
No. Excuse me.
With the black arrow.
Excuse me. I'm telling you how it is designed, and I'm telling you some of the challenges. I didn't design the ballot. I thought it was a stupid ballot. I thought it caused problems, and the fact that you and I are having an argument as to whether or not it's easy to read or understand makes my point. In other words, it should be a ballot so that you and I can't possibly have this conversation.
This is my belief that...
Did you hear what I said?
Oh, I heard what you said.
Would you respond to what I said?
Respond to what you said?
Yeah.
Yes, the ballot to me was not...
That's not what I said. You see, you didn't listen to me, did you, Paul?
No, I'm listening.
No, you're not listening because you didn't respond to what I said.
But rephrase...
No, you're not listening. Go ahead. You just talk because you don't want to listen. Go ahead.
No, restate your question.
No, I'm not interested. Go ahead.
I'm listening.
Make your point, Paul. Go ahead.
Okay, my point is that this to me is very typical of the Democrats.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Okay? You gave me a ballot I couldn't understand. Fix this for me. I don't want to take my responsibility. I don't want to take the responsibility to ask in the polling place. I don't want to take any responsibility for anything.
Well, it's very enlightened, Paul. Got a last word?
Yeah, I believe that that's the truth.
Good, very good. Of course you do. See, this is the kind of partisan foolishness. They go, this guy, well, you should just take responsibility. If this election were going the other way in Florida, and if the Bush was in trouble, and if it was, you wouldn't be hearing this as much. It's really silly. Elaine is in a sonnet. Hi, Elaine.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
I'd like to give you a different twist to this, if I may.
Be my guest.
First, may I say to you, I would like to see Bush get in.
Yeah.
But as far as the elections down in Florida, I have MS. And I don't know if anybody has even thought of this, but the way they had the ballot designed with the push buttons or punch the holes, I am too weak to do that. I could not push a hole all the way through.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can't even open the refrigerator door.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of elderly people in Florida. And I'm sure there's a lot of weak ones. And this could be what constituted part of the problem.
Well, it's very possible. I mean, and this is my problem, is that the fact that you can suggest this to me, okay, and I can't say to you, oh, come on now. You know what I mean, Elaine? Come on. I mean, this is simple. That's the problem. And even the conversation I just had with this guy, Paul, he wasn't listening, but my point was to say that if you and I can argue over whether or not a ballot is readable, understandable, or able to be voted on based on your situation, then we already have the problem, don't we?
Yes, we do.
There it is. It's very simple. Whether Paul's right or I'm right, the fact that there is a debate about it suggests the problem with the ballot.
Well, I do know with me that there is a problem.
Yes. Well, I hope you're feeling better. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there.
Good for you. All right. Remember, the Jews have a wonderful expression: as long as your teeth are shattering, you're alive.
Okay.
Hang in there, babe. All right.
Okay.
Thanks
Thank
a lot.
you.
Bye, Elaine.
Bye-bye.
Joan is in Somerset. Hi, Joan. You're on WPRO.
Hi.
Hi.
Maybe I'm too much into the 21st century, but with all the PCs...
Can you speak up for me, please?
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Just speak into your phone. Yeah.
All right. Can you, with all the technology that we have in the 21st century...
Yes.
It doesn't seem conceivable to me that the government hasn't thought of simply voting on the PC.
Well, that would be fine, except that there's too many opportunities. I mean, with hackers now that are going into government, computer databases and corporate, the hackers are getting and causing trouble. It opens it up to too much problem and too much potential for damage.
Well, it seems like we have a lot of damage already. You mean to tell me that they couldn't have an individual type of, a secured site?
Well, obviously not. I mean, if they were going to do it, then, there have been hackers, have been teenagers get into the Pentagon database. So, this thing about technology, I think this is the problem. We've gone too technological as it pertains to this. I think we should go back to the basics.
By hand instead?
Sure, do it by hand. Give me a paper ballot, give me a pen, let me draw a line, let me circle a name, and move on. Absolutely.
Well, if it worked in the past, maybe it would work again.
Well, you and I can't disagree. If I look at a ballot, okay, and George Bush's name is circled as an example, okay?
Right.
And you're a Democrat and I'm a Republican or vice versa, and I say to you, okay, who voted? Who got the vote here? You've got to tell me Bush got it. Right. And I've got to tell you Bush got it, right? It's that simple, right?
I agree.
And I think we've driven ourselves nuts with this, trying to be, we're going to be cool and we're going to have this dot and that dot, and you line it up and you press this thing, and come on.
I agree. I agree.
All right, and thanks for your call.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your cellular one. By virtue of the fact that there is an argument here, by virtue of the fact that you and I or Paul and I or whomever can argue about whether or not this is a kosher ballot, therein lies the problem. There it is right there. If I want to tell you that I think the ballot sucks and here's why, and I'm able to point to some issues as to why it does, then I have made my point, haven't I? I've made my point. And if I've made that point, and one that you can refute or try to refute, The bottom line still goes that there is something wrong with this ballot, just by that alone. 437-0630. And John is on a cell phone. Hi, John. You're on WPRO.
How you doing?
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to add that we probably could make a individual unit that tallies up all the votes that is not hooked up to the internet or online, just hooked up into a wall that tallies all the votes, and it'd be very simple. At the end of the day, you can just push a button and say, okay, here's the tally.
Yeah, all right. So you want to have, for instance, PCs instead of, you know, voting booths where they just have a pen now, so you'd have a little a keyboard,
Exactly.
right?
Just touch the screen. Like if you go to some of these menus, even in Disney World, you just touch the screen and you know your order's up. It's really simple.
Yeah.
I think what they'd like to
let me
do.
ask you this. But let me ask you this now, okay? Here's the problem with what you're suggesting to me, all right? And in the old days, and we had this conversation yesterday, but you know the old machines that Rhode Island used to have where you'd press the button down, you know, you lever down, and then you'd pull the thing and the curtain would open and your vote would go in.
Correct.
And people were making mistakes. They were opening the curtain to ask questions and they'd lose their vote and da-da-da-da-da. And a lot of those machines had votes in advance inside the machine when the polls opened, by the way. They found out later. Okay. So now I'm the person that is programming the computer you're talking about.
Correct.
And I have designed it so that every fourth vote or every third vote that goes to Bush goes to Gore.
Oh, that is another possibility.
Okay, so even if it's not online, even if it's not in the the World Wide Web, just even in that particular unit, okay?
You're absolutely right, and I believe no matter what you do, it's going to be tampered with.
Right.
I think the problem what we're trying to eliminate is this baloney that's going on today.
Right. So if we have a piece of paper and a pen, and I circle a name, right? Or I put a check mark, okay? Something simple, or I draw the line like in Rhode Island. I love Rhode Island. You draw the line, right? Or like they're having the trouble now in Johnston. I've written a name in and I forgot to draw the line, but nobody can challenge me that I obviously meant to write in Vinagro's name.
Except they can throw those ballots away, or they can get lost on a recount over and over again.
That all may be too. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's, like you said, but I mean, at least this way, it's not about massive threats and dimples and pregnant and Chad and hanging and briefs on and all that other stuff.
No, you're right. I think no matter what they do, somebody's going to come up with a scheme to beat the system.
Well, sure.
It almost seems pretty obvious to me that we actually do need a third party here because no one was blown out either way on this.
Well, the other thing about this is if we bring it back down to the simplicity of it, it's less able. You cut down the opportunity if we bring the simplicity down.
Right.
I think that's the problem we've run into. And I think we're trying to get so hip, and it's the year 2000, and, we're going to have this, you know what I mean?
And you're right, technology can only take us so far.
Yeah, and then you can start banging into it.
Right.
I mean, at least I think you can. I mean, what do I know, But I mean, that's how I see it.
Me neither.
All right.
Run.
Thanks for your call. Bye-bye now.
Take care.
437-0630, 1-800-321-9776. Star 630 on your cellular one.
Kane and Company. WPRO.
Are you listening to me right now? Can you hear every word? Have you got the radio up so loud the people across the street are telling you to turn it down? Well, if that's the case, maybe it's time you gave my pal a call. Bob Fraser at Fraser Hearing Centers. Now listen to me. This guy will tell you only what you really need. He won't sell you something you don't need. He won't try to fit you for a huge amount of equipment and charge you a lot of money. And here's the best part. When you get a hearing aid from Bob Fraser, you try it for 30 days, and if it isn't everything you thought it would be, you return it for a full and complete refund. No bull, no deposits, no nothing. You just return it and get every dime back. In addition to that, you're going to love meeting Bob, and you're going to finally get a chance to hear what you're missing. Come on, tell yourself the truth now. You're saying what far too often. You're missing conversations. You're missing some great lines in the comedies on TV because you just don't catch them. Why do that to yourself anymore? Here's the phone number to call, 1-800-445-8015, 1-800-445-8015. Fraser Hearing Center. They're at 15 Washington Street, Route 1, South Attleboro. You give them a call, tell Bob I sent you, and you just talk to him. You make your own mind up. You talk to him. Make your own mind up. But after you talk to him, I know you're going to give him a chance to bring you the hearing you deserve. And if it doesn't work out, 30 days later, you get every dime back. No problem. You check it out. Bob Fraser Hearing Center is the phone number, 1-800-445-8015.
If ever you should happen to be going to Godby's Waukesha town, I tell you it's the cutest little town.
437-0630.
You can bet your bottom.
1-800-321-WPRO.
When you meet the people here in town, they say hello.
And June is in Swansea on WPRO. Hi, June.
Hi.
Hi.
About this election thing.
Yes.
One of the callers had mentioned something about putting it on the computer.
Yeah.
And why, again, can't we just do that so that everyone can just sign in with their Social Security number? And
Well, first of all, do you want someone to have your Social Security number and know who you voted for?
Well, what's the difference? They poll people as they come out of
But the people who poll may not be telling the truth.
But if it's a secured site, the only one that's going to have that information are the people that already have that information, which is the government.
Well, secured site, first of all, do you want the government to know how you voted?
What difference does it make?
Well, I think you're naive. What do you mean difference does it make? Why would you let anybody know how you voted? Whose business is it? Why would you want to put your Social Security number on a vote?
I don't really think it's that big of a deal.
I know you don't, but I think you're naive.
Why?
Oh, what if
realistic, maybe?
No.
These people are getting so ridiculous with their, can't have my phone number, can't have my zip code, can't have this, can't have that.
That's exactly right.
Who cares?
Well,
are we that paranoid?
Well, listen, you can be, by all means, you want to give out your Social Security number, go ahead. It's okay with me. If you want to be that, cavalier about it, you go ahead. But the people who have worked with this for many years have told you how dangerous that is, how your records, your financial records can be adapted, how you can have things charged to you with that, how you can have,
they do it anyway without your Social Security number.
Well, so you want to make it easier for them?
Well, why then can't they just do a general mailing, anybody over, voting age, and assign everybody a number?
Because you need to be
randomly.
But again, you're getting a number. Why? You're getting crazy here. All you got to do is have a piece of paper.
I'm getting crazy. There's people in Florida that don't even know who they voted for and can't even remember if they voted for the right person.
Doesn't that tell you something?
They're in the dark ages punching cards.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay.
This is ridiculous already.
Let me guess, you're 17?
Are we gonna know?
Let me guess, you're 17.
No.
Oh,
guess
okay.
again. There isn't any reason for this. You taking this as a personal attack? I'm not personally attacking you. I'm voicing my opinion. I thought that's what the show was for.
No, your naivete just makes me think that you must have been living in a very, young world. That's all.
No, realistic
your
world.
Intolerance.
That in
your
this
intolerance.
day of excuse me,
I
called you so that I could voice my opinion. I would appreciate it if you would give me that opportunity or hang up on me if you don't want to hear it.
I am giving you the opportunity, but this
not
is
by
not
talking
a pontification.
over me. You're not.
I'm not talking over you. I'm trying to discuss with you. You're afraid of what I'm going to say, are you?
Are you afraid of what I have to say?
I want you to say it. The longer you talk, the sillier you sound. Keep going.
You're lucky this is radio.
Why? What are you going to do to me?
Oh, nothing to you.
What do you mean? Well, look at this as radio. What does that mean? What does that mean? You threatening?
In this day and age of electronics
are you threatening
and this modern technology, you think that they would be able to come up with a generalized way of organized fashion of being able to pick who you would like for your president.
Okay.
You say all these people have been working on it. Well, they're obviously not working hard enough. If we still got places where they're punching computer cards that have no information on them once they've been separated, and you have no idea.
You're making my case for me. I think you're making my case.
I'm making your case for you?
Absolutely.
Like in the day of modern technology, they should be able to come up with a better way than punching a piece of paper, punching a hole in a piece of paper.
This was designed by people who, this is not a new ballot. This is not an old ballot. This is a recent ballot. It was redesigned last year.
Redesigned last year?
Yes.
Then why isn't everybody using it if it's so great?
Because everybody, well, I guess you'd, hello? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You know, this new thing.
I didn't say it. Did
It's
you hear me
working
saying
out
it was
so
great?
well for everybody, isn't it?
You didn't hear me saying it was great. I've been screaming about how awful it is. Did you just tune in or something? You haven't heard, obviously, anything I've said about this. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, very good. You got anything else for me?
No.
I mean, besides threatening me, have you got anything else for me?
Threatening you?
Well, you said
I never threatened
you. You said a good thing this was radio. What does
Yeah,
that
that
mean?
had nothing to do with you. That just meant that I would have to be a little bit more polite because it was radio.
No,
and,
you don't. You can
know.
be yourself. You can be the impolite person you really are if you want. Go ahead.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Sure. This is America. We want you to speak any way you
Yeah,
want.
right. It's America, but yet we're so far in the dark ages, and with all this modern technology, we can't even get a president elected the day he's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so what else is new?
Mm-hmm.
Thank God for Americans.
Mm-hmm. Anything else you'd like to say? Hello? Oh, and then she hung up. Now she hung up, so I guess that's as rude as she likes to be. Say, let her talk. See, this is funny, people. Well, you let me talk. See, you let them talk. And you see what happens. Jean is in New Bedford. Hi, Jean.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh, not bad, and you?
Good.
Good. I have two questions. First
Yes,
of all, these machines with the punch hole type voting system.
Yes.
Is that all over Florida?
No. As a matter of fact, they've got different ballots in every different county.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Yeah, they really have. Yeah,
That is ridiculous. To me, that sounds fishy to me, number one.
Well, wait a minute. Why do you say fishy?
Well,
I mean, incompetent maybe, but fishy.
Well, incompetent.
Suggests,
why shouldn't it be the same all over?
I don't know that it shouldn't. I don't know that. I think it should be the same all over the country, frankly.
Exactly. I was just going to say that the whole nation should be voting. In our area here, we vote. I think like perhaps you do. You close the arrow.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I work at the polls, so I'm a checker. The number of people who check in have to match the number of people who check out, and has to match the number of people who have voted in the machine.
You're right.
And as you know, if someone votes twice for one candidate where there's only one vote called for, that machine will reject that ballot, and they have to re-vote.
Yes. I mean, I don't see
I don't see why we don't have. It's so simple. I don't see why we don't have that all over.
Well, I think the simple part of it is the people who are designing the ballots. They're the simple ones. Thanks a lot, Gene.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
And, one more thing.
Yes.
This lady that just called before me, God forbid, that's the future of America. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Judy is in Swansea on WPRO. Hi, Judy.
Hello.
Hi.
I just like to voice my opinion. It seems to me that this is costing the American public a lot of money.
Yeah.
Involving the courts, the time element, the accuracy. I think the simple thing to do is to have a revote.
So it's about money?
You know, well, not about money. It's about being accurate. Somebody ate some chads.
Yeah.
You're getting all these stories.
Yeah.
It's getting ridiculous.
Okay.
You know, if we get a revote, I think, my daughter lives in Palm Beach. I have two daughters that live down there in the Boca Raton area. And they would like a revote.
Mm-hmm.
She said that when they had reviewed the ballot that was presented in the paper the night, before, and that they had reviewed what they were going to do. They got to the polls, and the ballot was totally different. So, now these people are not stupid. They've had college educations. They're young people, and they don't know whether their vote has been counted. So, and then they say that 96% of the vote was correct, and only 4 or 6%.
Yeah, right.
Now that unreliable 6%. This is getting really the time element.
Yeah.
For the people that are listening to this, for the people who are living it, and the cost. Yes, it involves cost. I heard it was in the millions of dollars.
Well, I'm not worried about that. I'm frankly not worried about the cost because, people have died so that we would have fair elections. So I'm not worried about the money. I mean, that's to me, that's not important.
problem of somebody voting again.
Well,
and
I guess there's a lot.
Faster, cheaper, and accurate.
All right, Judy, thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Paul is in Swansea on WPRO. Hi, Paul.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
I just want you to keep up the good work. I think you guys are sealing the deal. Absolutely sealing the deal.
Well, we're doing what we can with what we got, Paul. You know what I mean?
I would urge every Republican to basically turn off their radio. You guys are definitely sealing the deal that the perception of the Democratic Party is, and this has nothing to do with education or socioeconomic status.
I'm not sure.
Democrats are idiots.
They're
9 out of 10.
They're idiots?
They're morons.
Uh-huh.
And, as aggravated as I could get, I think that when I turn on your show, which obviously is biased
Now, how is it biased?
and inflammatory.
Tell me how it's biased, Paul.
How is it biased?
Yeah, tell me.
How you just treated the young lady about the Social Security number?
Well,
who you believe is a Republican?
Excuse me, wait a minute. You never heard me say that. You never heard me say I thought she was a Republican. I said I thought she was a moron. I didn't say she was a Republican. I said I thought she was 17. I didn't say she was a Republican. I said that she didn't understand the reality of privacy in this country and how it's been abused by people using Social Security number, but you didn't say it.
I apologize. You're right. You called her a moron. You assumed she was a Democrat.
See, now, I want to show you something. See, Paul, now, he just hung up, and he ran. See? Now, this is an example of a Republican here, I guess. Because he's decided that all Democrats are fools and morons or whatever, and then he wasn't man enough to stay on the line. So I guess Republicans are not only foolish, they're also cowards. Is that what I'm supposed to draw from that? Am I supposed to draw that all Republicans are now cowards? Do you think that's what I'm supposed to draw from this? It's an interesting concept, isn't it? And it's funny because just like that other young lady, the longer they talk, the more you give them the time you give them, they dig themselves right into this hole. Now, he suggested I was biased. It's funny because uncharacteristically, by the way, in this weekend, I have had several calls from people telling me I was anything but biased, that I tried to show balance. I have been complimented on my attempt to be balanced. So then you have this smarmy little girl who calls up and does, and then you got Paul who calls up, and he, jumps all over Democrats. They're all idiots. And you're entitled to that. If that's what you think, that's what you think. But then when you slam the phone down, you run like a thief. Am I supposed to think you're a coward? Judy says, whatever her name was, I think it was Judy, wasn't it? I'm lucky. Oh, Joan, I think. I'm lucky I'm on the radio. She'd say bad words to me. Ooh. Gee, next thing you know, they'll be ringing my doorbell and running. I hate that. Well, boys and girls, believe it or not, I think I could squeeze in one quick one if I do this real quick. Here's Laura in North Dartmouth. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Dave.
Quick.
For crying out loud, I'll hang up and call you later.
What do you mean? Go ahead.
You're going to fight with me, too?
Yeah, I'm in a fighting mood, that's it.
No. I just want to say one thing. When I was first listening to the election returns and stuff, when they said that go ahead Florida, and then about 3 or 4 hours later,
right.
I heard them say,
okay.
Oh, no, he doesn't have Florida.
Right.
There's been a glitch.
Yeah, okay. Glitch. Yeah, okay.
So I says to myself, and I wonder who made that glitch. And I thought of only one person.
Who's that?
The governor.
Okay. See you later.
Bye.
Sure. Blame him. Poor Jeb, minding his own business. Got a brother he doesn't even like that much, running for president. And now, would you like to be Thanksgiving? Would you like to be at the governor's mansion on Thanksgiving when the whole family's together and watch Jeb Bush get his butt kicked? All right, it is time for us to get into the newsroom, speaking of getting one's butt kicked. And we will be back on the other side with more of Kane and Company for the final hour. Not the final hour. Yes, the final hour. Kane and Company at 1 o'clock. Myrna Lamb will be up. So you stay tuned, all right?
I'm Colleen Lehman, WPRO First News. It's 12:05. Kane and Company with Dave Kane continues on News Talk Radio 630 WPRO.
Now, have you had something else out of that little white box I brought today, huh?
No.
Didn't? Come on, tell the truth.
I have eggs and corned beef hash and toast and home fries over here.
And you didn't, let me understand this, you didn't offer me any? You didn't come in here and say, would you like a little corned beef hash? Would you like a little?
Would you like something?
No, never mind now. I bring you. Oh, sure. See how she is?
I thought you were full of pastries.
I know the kind of person you are now. Gee, you're like Weebosset Street. You're one way.
Kane and Company is adult in nature and is not suitable for all audiences.
I hate this, people.
The content of this program is one that a truly free society
I bring stuff in from Crognoli's, and what do I get?
Or suppress.
Nothing. I get nothing. I get skata. I get nothing.
I'm gonna sit right down and write myself a
No respect. I don't get it. 437-0630, 1-800-321-WPRO. You and me on the radio till 1 o'clock this afternoon. Myrna Lamb in at 1 to continue this conversation about the Indecision 2000. And by the way, speaking of that, I'll be glad I got him. WPRO listeners can cast their vote as to whether or not there should be a re-vote in Florida. And just by casting your vote, you could be eligible for a trip to Orlando. Oh, baby, go down and say, ha, Mickey Mouse. I'm wearing a Mickey Mouse sweatshirt as we speak. So, if you would like to vote as to whether or not there should be a re-vote in Florida, you may do so by just getting online at www.630wpro.com. www.630wpro.com. You vote as to whether there should be a re-vote or nay. And you could be eligible for a trip to Orlando just for voting, okay? And listen to WPRO for the updated results, too. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776. Star 630 on your cellular one. And Ray is in Warwick on WPRO. Hi, Ray.
How you doing, Dave?
Yes, sir.
Just a quick thing. First of all, I'm a Republican.
Yeah.
However, don't take that and,
No. I don't, see, I'm not like everybody else, that does that whole, well, you're a Republican, you're garbage thing. Yeah.
My attitude is everybody's something.
Yeah, right.
So no matter what angle you look at this as, you're going to look at it with clouded vision.
Of course you are. That's exactly. And you know what? You're a Republican because of the way you think. You don't think because you're a Republican.
Exactly.
And that's what people don't seem to grab. And I was trying to explain that yesterday.
Yep.
That the reason you like Bush or the reason you like anybody else is because they have touched you where you live.
Exactly.
Yeah, so go ahead.
Exactly. Well, the reason why I called is about the recount.
Yes.
I think fundamentally, whether you're a Republican or Democrat, it needs to be looked at. There's a fundamental problem with doing a recount at this point. I just think that there's so much politics involved and so few votes difference between the candidates. If there was a recount, I think you'd have everybody and their brother jumping on either side. You know what I mean? Trying to swing this one way or another. It wouldn't be a fair, how do I feel on the issues and how do I feel on the candidates? It would be, can I push this guy over the edge to become president?
Right.
I just don't think it would be fair whatsoever to do a recount. I'm not quite sure how to solve the whole thing. I don't think recounts whatsoever is the answer. I think people just shout out recounts for no particular reason.
What do you think? What do you think about a re-vote?
Well, no, I'm sorry. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Recount,
okay.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm talking about a re-vote. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think fundamentally that's wrong. I mean,
Okay.
you have everybody. People who didn't vote would vote.
Mm-hmm.
There'd be politics involved like crazy.
Well, wait a minute. People who didn't vote then suddenly decide to vote. So what?
Yeah, but they're not deciding to vote because their conscience tells them to, or because of the issues, or because of one candidate impressed them more than the other, or whatever. They're voting now because they just want to push one side or the other over the edge.
That's voting for one candidate over another.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a democratic.
Why?
In our society,
Why? Just
I don't
because
think that's what voting's supposed to be about.
Nah, I disagree. I think that we want to get everybody we can to vote, and now here's an example of where everybody screwed up.
But
so
you want to vote your conscience, though.
You
want to vote for what you believe,
obviously.
not because.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Wait.
Back up. How many people do you think are going to take the time to go do that just because, if they want Gore in, for whatever reason, they want Gore in. They're entitled to that vote. You don't get to say why they vote. I know people that vote for presidential candidates because they look good.
Right. Oh, no, yeah, there's no reason why.
All right.
But
so,
if you didn't vote to begin with, then what is your motive for voting the second time?
Well, a lot of reasons. Maybe, first of all, how about all the people in the Panhandle that allegedly didn't go because Gore was projected the winner?
Right.
Okay, and then you got the people who said, you know what, this maybe is serious. Now we're looking at all these weeks of this conversation. Maybe people say, I'm learning that my vote is important.
Well, I guess I could say it that way. I just look at it, if you're up 900 or you're down 900 or whatever the number is, on both sides, there's just going to be a huge push for everybody to come out, no matter what you are. I'll give you whatever you want. Just come out and vote for one side or the other. I don't think that's as fair as what happened before.
I think that's exactly what happened before. The only difference is they didn't get enough people to turn out. This time they would. Hey, listen, thanks a lot, Ray.
No problem.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
All right, 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your cellular one. Myrna Lamb in at 1 o'clock today, and Ethel's in Cranston. Hi, Ethel.
Hi, Dave.
Hi.
Listen, I want to compliment your station, and especially your station manager, for allowing this to go through the weekend.
Yes.
Because I think this is a very important matter in this country.
It certainly is.
Especially, like, say, weekends where you have those CNN and all those big guys working all weekend. It is a very, very important. And, at the very beginning, people will not be coming interest like 2 or 3 days after. But now I think they're concerned because it's a very important decision. And so to listen to you all weekend and Ron and then having Myrna on, I think that's great. And it's a plus for your station because the other stations didn't even think of it.
Well, it's funny you said that. I heard one of the other stations yesterday, they were talking about, they had a promo on saying, we're the election coverage station and we're the station, stick with us for everything. Yeah. And the next thing I heard was the opening for the wrestling show.
That's right. But this is great. I think it's good talking. You know what? You're a good talk host because I listen to you very faithfully and you generate conversation. You keep it going.
If only conversation about how I should be put to death.
No, you're great.
Thanks a lot for your call. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
I love it when relatives call. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your cellular one. You and me on the radio till 1 o'clock this afternoon. Myrna Lamb in at 1 until 4 o'clock. And, yes, we will have tatas today. And I will be back at my, I'm going to offer people last word as it needs to be. And it's still in effect, the last word, but because we're kind of off format a little bit because of what's going on, I haven't thought about it as much as I normally do in the regular show, okay? 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your cellular one. Now, if you have not made a statement or made an observation or called on this yet, how about doing it right now? Can we get you to be the first time you comment, maybe the first time you've ever called talk radio, maybe the first time you finally jumped into this fray? I know you're sitting there and listening and thinking to yourself, boy, yes, and that guy's, and boy, that Kane, I like to give him a punch, whatever you're thinking. Can I get you to voice it and let the world know? 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 in your cellular one. And when I say the world know, what I mean by that is that we are on the World Wide Web, and people are listening to you right now and would be listening to your call literally all over the world at www.630wpro.com. So if I can get you to be a first-time caller, and if I can get you to be part of this, let's do this together, okay? Okay.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day.
437-0630, 1-800-321-WPRO.
You be mine.
And we're taking first-time callers, or you. You don't have to be a first-time caller, but we're trying to open it up for people to voice their opinion that haven't had a chance to get in here.
You be mine.
We're going to start with Hupp in Wakefield on WPRO. Hi, Hupp.
Dave?
Yes, sir.
I'm a World War II veteran.
Yes, sir.
This president is not my commander-in-chief. That's number one. Number two, this other guy has got a hernia of the brain that's running for president. I hope he never makes it.
Which one's that now?
Which one? That's a good question, Dave. You hit that one right on the head.
Okay.
All right. You know what? I'm peed off at the veterans of the foreign wars. Where the hell are they letting these guys pull all this junk?
Which that now?
Believe me,
What are you talking about, Hupp? I'm losing you here. What junk?
Well, all this stuff they're throwing around, like, let these guys get away with all this stuff. I'm going to be honest with you. I used to be a Democrat. I'm not no more.
Okay.
And another thing is that the stuff they're pulling off, where are these veterans?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
You'll have to excuse me, Dave, because I'm a little not screwed up, but I know what I'm talking about.
I know what you mean, pal.
I'm 85 years old this month.
I know what you mean because, I think that we talk a good game, but when it comes to our veterans, we've turned our back in a miserable way.
Well, Jesus, there was an example a couple of maybe 3-4 weeks ago. I'm going to tell you about the governor. Where do you think he was when they were trying to dedicate all those names on those stones in Johnston somewhere? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Where do you think he was?
Cape Cod.
No, he was in Quonset Point trying to hustle a buck.
Okay.
You know, it's not fair. You know, I'm one of the way I feel about it, I'm one of the 16 million guys.
Yeah.
Went for the, you know, you'll have to excuse me, I get a little nervous.
No, that's okay, Hub. Don't worry about it. I know what you're saying.
I'm originally from Pawtucket, you know.
Yeah, okay.
And I know all about the rackets over there.
Okay, I got to hold you there, Hub. I'm glad you called, though.
Yeah, all right. I don't blame you because I'm a little...
No, that's okay.
The only thing I want to say...
Yeah.
I think this guy's running for president. He's got a hernia of the brain.
Okay, buddy. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye now.
Thanks.
Ron is in Newark, Connecticut. Hi, Ron.
Hey, Dave. How you doing?
Yes, sir.
First-time caller here.
Yes.
I just found your program last weekend. It's really good. You got a lot of good callers over there.
Yep. Okay.
I've been a junkie of this stuff for about 10 years.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I got interested in it, but I never cared nothing about politics when I was younger. But I listen to both sides, Dave, constantly.
Yeah.
And there's a station in New York that's totally left wing. You know, all the callers too are. Dave, I took it for I wasn't raised Republican or a Democrat, so I took both sides, and I've been trying to figure out who's right and who's wrong and which way. Well, like you said, I think, you know how you phrased it before, you don't think like a Republican, you're
a Republican because of how you think.
Right, exactly. So I'm definitely more to the right.
Okay.
Not extreme right.
I know what you mean, yeah.
You know,
but more conservative, yeah. Yep.
So, Dave, don't you think that the Democrats, not just to put them all in one big bucket, but don't you think they change things around a lot and don't really talk the truth about things and have a lot of spin, more spin than the right?
I really can't tell you that I think it's more. I think that everybody spins for their own purpose, okay?
Definitely,
and everybody sees it. And I don't even know if I'd call it spin. I think it's just the way they justify it and see it, you know?
That's what I try to figure out. Do they really think this, or are they, you know...
Well, I think that in some cases, I think that maybe ends justifies the means.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know if that's right.
Definitely in some cases, yeah.
But, I mean, the problem I have is when we, like, you know, not you particularly, but when people say, well, the Democrats are this or the Republicans are this, and you can see the same thread through the whole 9 yards. All of it, you know? We're twisting it for our own purpose because we believe that an end justifies the means. We believe that as long as we are the good guys when it's all over, it doesn't matter what we do to get there. And if we can do it within the law, good for us.
Yeah.
Now, and that goes for both sides now.
Right.
You know, and I think that people are upset about what's going on because they're afraid that their guy, whoever their guy is going to get screwed out of this.
Yeah, well, that's why I think it's kind of too late now. I heard your program yesterday.
Yeah.
And you can't turn around and say, well, I didn't mean to vote that way. Although, like you said, it was a flaw in the ballot, maybe. That should be checked into.
Yeah, I think it's what we're going to learn. I got to hold you, but it's what we're learning from this that's going to be important. And I think we'll bang this one out, and then I think we're going to see a lot of changes in a lot of areas.
Yeah, I think we need them.
Thanks for your call, Ron.
Okay.
Call again, okay?
Well.
All right, bye. Harry is on a cell phone. Hi, Harry, you're on WPRO.
Hi, Ron, you just said practically what I wanted to say. One was what we've learned from this, and we probably learned this after many elections, is how corrupt the system really is.
Sure.
And
when you say corrupt now when you say corrupt, Harry, I'm not necessarily talking about somebody who gets up in the morning and says, gee, I think I'll see how I can screw everybody out of this election. I think a lot of it has to do with incompetence and really weak presentation.
Correct.
Yeah.
But you also have to realize that if a person is winning by 1 million votes, it doesn't matter if the corruption is there and everybody ignores it. If there's incompetence there, everybody ignores it.
Yeah.
When you get to the point where it's as close as this, and you see where everybody is pushing for their own man, like the woman in West Palm, who is on that 3-man committee or 3-woman committee, and she just won't hear any other side.
Mm-hmm.
She's not the chairman of it, but she acts like she's the chairman of that committee.
Mm.
And she, half the time, doesn't give the judge a chance to talk. But what we see, basically, is that there are flaws in it, but no one ever makes attempt. And I'm sure the politicians know there are flaws in it.
Oh, sure they do.
They don't
Yes.
kind of push to say, let's get reform.
Well, why am I going to fix something if I don't think it's broken? In other words, I'm not going to be pushing for reform if my side's getting the advantage, right?
But if they're a good politician, if they're Mr. Was it Mr. Smith Goes to Washington?
Oh, please.
They're going to get there in front and say,
yeah,
we got to do the will of the people. We're not doing the will of the people. We're doing the will of ourselves, what's good for us.
Isn't it funny how you use Mr. Smith Goes to Washington? That film came out in 1948, and you realize that the corruption machine and all of that stuff and all of the phrases you hear in that movie from 1948 are current today.
Another point was you had a gentleman call earlier.
Yeah.
Read something that Jefferson had written.
Yes.
And you had mentioned it could be written today, and we'd try to guess who wrote it.
Right.
Well, he had so much foresight into the way this country was going to be that it's just amazing politically how astute that gentleman was a couple of centuries ago.
I agree. I'm glad you called.
We are doing the same thing over and over again. And this campaign reform, they don't want to reform it because, as you said, if I'm winning, why should I reform what I'm winning with?
Well, you know, Harry, the definition of insanity is when you keep doing the same thing over and over and expect a different result.
Well, that's what the election, this count is.
Yeah.
We're going to do it until we get it right. And what's right? Right is my way.
Okay, Harry, thanks a lot.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Bye-bye now. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776. Star 630 in your cellular one. Myrna Lamb comes in at 1 o'clock today.
Kane and Company, WPRO.
Yes, 437-0630, 1-800-321-WPRO. Star 630 in your cellular one. Irene is in Fall River on WPRO. Hi, Irene.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
I heard your show for the very first time last Sunday. Very interesting.
Thank you.
And I would like to talk about the paper ballot.
Yes.
For one thing, they are not paper. They are cardboard.
Yeah.
They're kind of hard to push through, you know, and they're not that hard if anybody wants to take the time and do it a couple of times.
Sure.
Another thing, you know, in Texas, they also have that system. This was on the radio today. I mean, on television.
Yes.
They have that, and they count everything, the chads, the dimple, the hanging chads, and everything.
Yeah.
And that's what people should know. So I think we should count them, too.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I'm glad you
Bye-bye.
called. Thank you. 437-0630. John's in Westport. Hi, John.
Hello, Dave.
Yes, sir.
Well, first of all, I think we should all have a universal voting system. I think we should all use the machines where you push down the lever.
John, where are you calling from? The Civic Center?
No.
Are you on a speakerphone?
No, I'm on a cell phone.
Okay, go ahead. It sounds like you're speaking at the Coliseum, but go ahead.
Sounds like I'm speaking in an empty room?
Yep. Okay,
oh,
go.
sorry about that.
That's all right. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, like I said, I think we should use the machines everywhere.
Okay.
And next thing, if we don't change to that, I suggest that everyone use that write-in space and put their own name down. Then we'll have some real chaos going on.
The write-in space, huh?
Yeah.
You think that's the best way to go?
Well, if we can't resolve matters like what's happening now, I think that's the only other solution.
Well, I think we have a long way to go before we get there, though.
Because I'm sure there's a lot of other people out there that are capable of, doing what the president does.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't seem like they have much of a responsibility because Congress is the one that does all the debating back and forth, and every time the president gets a bill to sign in front of them, they go and they turn around and they do what they want with it.
Mm-hmm.
So it really doesn't seem like his position matters much.
All right, buddy. I'm glad you called. What else?
Nothing much except have a nice day.
All right, thank you. Next time, call me on a landline, okay?
Yeah, all right, bye-bye.
All right, thanks a lot. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your cellular one. You and me on the radio until 1 o'clock this afternoon. Hey, listen, Father Misgivings is going to be appearing for Christmas at 2 locations at the Unitarian Church in East Greenwich on December 2nd. And for details and information on that, you can call 884-5 884-5933. 884-5933. That's the Unitarian Church, Westminster Unitarian in East Greenwich. And also at White's of Westport, December 13th, for dinner and show, you can call White's for information at 508-675-7185. 508-675-7185. White's of Westport, 2 locations for misgivings for Christmas. And I know you're really going to enjoy this for Christmas. I think you'll have a good time, and I invite you to join the Good Father at Misgivings, the Unitarian Church, December 2nd in East Greenwich. And again, the telephone number there, 884-5933, or White's of Westport. On December the 13th, that's a Wednesday night, for dinner and show, you can call White's at 508-675-7185, okay? Now listen, if you have not commented on this yet, if you are would be a first-time caller to Talk Radio, a first-time commenter on this issue, I would love to get you right now. We have about a half hour left. At 1 o'clock, Myrna comes in, and she's going to continue until 4 and give you more of an opportunity. But I'd like to get as many first-timers as I could. People to call in and tell me what you're thinking. Tell me how you're looking at this. Tell me what your take on this is. Because it can... I mean, there are so many ways to go at this thing. There are so many things to discuss. I can't imagine that you're sitting back there and saying, yeah, well, that's... you must have an opinion, so let's hear it. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your cellular one. Rick Shaw's answering the phones today. He's a nice guy. He'll make it easy for you to do this, I promise. Just give him a call and give him a chance, okay? All righty.
Who listens to radio? No matter if it's summer, winter, spring, or fall. Who listens to radio? Only 150 million people. That's all.
437-0630, 1-800-321-WPRO. And Vivek is on cell phone. Hi, Vivek.
Hey, hello, it's Vic. How you doing?
Good.
The reason I'm calling in is that I found it very interesting that Florida had this law that would immediately kick in for a recount, yet only 3 other states have that law. I think we should do more to put it on everyone's ballot.
Okay.
So we automatically, I think it's the best thing that happened in Florida, is they automatically kicked in a recount.
Yep. Yeah, well, there's only 3? Are there only 3 that have it?
That's what I'm hearing. I don't know.
You can request one. I think you have I think in most states there's a facility to be able to request a recount.
I think it'd be better if we just had it automatically kick in, because that way there's no question about it and no question about who's being a sore loser.
Okay. Good.
And I don't know what's the state and what's the rule in Providence, in Rhode Island.
I don't know.
Can we call around and ask?
Well, we can. The nice thing about talk radio is that you ask a question and somebody will have the answer before you get a chance to dial out. Yeah. So we'll see if somebody can tell us what that rule is.
I'm also curious about Massachusetts and the rest of New England, because I think it's a great rule.
Okay. Do you know what the other states are besides Florida that have the automatic recount?
I honestly don't.
Okay.
I don't. But I'd just like to put it on the ballot and just... see if people can get out there and put it on everyone's ballot.
All right. Thanks a lot.
All right. Bye.
All right, bye-bye now. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your cellular one. Is there an automatic recount in Rhode Island? Hold on a minute. Let me just give you this update that I'm just getting now. Route 95 North is backed up due to road work, okay? And Route 195 West going into Providence is backed up as well, okay? So if you're going 195 West into Providence and you hit the 95 split going 95 North, all of that is backed up. It's funny, when I was coming to work, 95 South was backed up also the same way. But this is 95 North backed up due to road work, and 195 West also backed up. So if you're going to be traveling 195 West into Providence, you may want to rethink another way to do this, because it's quite a mess, I guess. Let me see here. Jay is in Warwick on WPRO. Hi, Jay.
Hi, Dave.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Good.
I'm a first-time caller.
Yay.
First-time listener. And I'm just starting to get into politics and understanding like which way it's going.
Okay, and what's your take on all this?
Well, the voting thing, I never voted, and so I don't know if I can actually come to the table with anything. But
No, because you're not old enough?
Well, no, I'm old enough.
Why have you never voted?
I don't know. I don't know if it's the idea behind it. My age, I'm closing in on 30, and just never saw that it would make any difference. And I know that sounds ignorant.
Yeah.
But
okay, go ahead.
But anyway, this coming away from this, I think you see that it's like a total breakdown of the system, and it's just like two teams going back and forth. And
see, I don't think it's a breakdown of the system. I think it's an exposure of the system.
Well, yeah, definitely. I think it's
the way it's always been.
Of a poor system.
Right, exactly.
That needs to be fixed.
Yep.
And I don't understand how we could be here at this time.
Well, one of the reasons, and I don't mean to jump ugly with you here, but one of the reasons is people like you who have never voted.
Yeah.
I mean, this wouldn't be this close if more people had voted.
Yeah.
One way or the other.
Yeah.
And you know, this thing about, well, it doesn't count and I'm going to take my ball and go home. The trouble is, it's not your ball. The ball stays in the game, and you go home and the game goes on.
Yeah, so I'm just a spectator.
Yeah, exactly. And then you get screwed out of the Super Bowl because you didn't have any vote.
Yeah.
And your point is well taken. But I think it's just we realize it all over the world. This is the way it is. All over the country. Yeah. This is the way it is.
Yeah.
And certainly all over the world. We talk about other elections in other countries, and we say, the ballot boxes and everything. And, don't make me laugh. You think we're just more sophisticated here.
It was amazing. I saw on the news the other night that there's like 10 different ways to vote in this country.
Oh.
And it's amazing. It's really disconcerting. And for a young voter who's thinking about getting into the game,
yeah,
it's very disconcerting. And it just seems like it goes back and forth. And
well, stop thinking about it and get into it.
Yeah, just get
and make something happen. Learn something about it. Maybe you even want to run someday for something.
Yeah, possibly.
All right, Jay. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. Bobby's in East Providence. Hi, Bob.
How you doing?
Yes, sir.
First time caller.
Yes, sir.
Your show. I want to know what Slick Willie's doing in Nam. He wouldn't go before.
Yeah.
Now I've been there.
Yeah.
What's he going to accomplish over there now?
Well, I think that I don't know what he's going to accomplish. I think that this is sort of like Japan when you think about it. What would be accomplished by just staying angry and staying mad with these people? What would be accomplished there?
No, wait. That was a big war. Second World War. Number one, we shouldn't even have been over there in Nam.
That's true.
We shouldn't even have been over there because they don't even consider it, like I said, up until today, a war.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 50,000 guys that are dead.
Yes.
They got their names out there, and this guy's trying to negotiate with them. They don't even want to talk to us.
Well, it's about moving on, though, isn't it, Bobby? It's about trying to. I mean, you can talk about all of the people in the Bataan March, for that matter. I mean, you can talk about a lot of things. The bottom line is that we can decide to hold ourselves off from everybody and never try to heal some wounds.
Okay, here goes one. Why won't they give us back my comrades that are over there that are buried?
Absolutely.
Why won't they give them back to us?
Absolutely
without
correct.
all of that?
Absolutely correct. But before you get there, why don't you jump ugly with McNamara, who wrote his book and admitted to the American public that he lied to everybody from top to bottom during that whole skirmish?
Well, no, I understand it. That's why I'm saying that he shouldn't even be over there.
Well, I disagree. I think that not to be over there and not to do. I mean, first of all, how are you? I mean, let's just take status quo, okay?
You ever see one of them tiger cages?
You're not listening to
put you in the water up to your chest.
You're not listening to me, huh, Bobby?
Oh, okay, good. I'm sorry.
My bottom line is, we can go back and revisit all of that, and we can say that we'd like to get the remains back of all of the people that are over there, and I agree. Yeah. But you're not going to get it done unless there are some movements to get it done. And maybe this is one of the ways to start opening some lines of communication. I mean, we've been doing it in Korea, right? I mean, yes. If we really want what we say we want, if we want these remains back, and I think we should, somebody's got to move off dead center. Someone's got to say, you know what? I'm going to make a move to try to do this.
No,
now maybe
it won't. I understand your point.
So maybe it won't. Maybe it won't mean anything, and maybe it's a big PR move and blah, blah, blah. But maybe this is the beginning. At least it's an effort to open up the lines and get some of this stuff back.
Right. I didn't understand it, but I'm just talking about he shouldn't be the one.
Well, why not? Why not?
He ran away.
Well, wait a minute.
He was
you know
in
what?
England. He ran away.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. The people who, as you say, ran away, the people, as you say, they turned out to be the right ones. They were correct because McNamara has admitted that they were being lied, you were being lied to from the beginning. So who was smarter, the guys that went or the guys that stayed?
We had to go. We had no alternative.
No, that's not true. That's not true. You didn't have to go because other people didn't go. You made the option, and I'm not challenging you on. I'm saying, but you made the choice to acquiesce and to go.
Okay, wait a minute.
These other people didn't make that choice.
Right.
And now, as we look, hindsight's 20/20. But we look back at it and we say, Jesus, these guys were right and we were wrong.
Yeah, but all the poor kids went like me.
I agree.
We were all poor.
I agree, but there are a lot of poor kids that went to Canada too. And I mean, I agree. You had people like Dan Quayle who sat in a National Guard desk. But who turned out? Let's get our emotion out of it for a minute, right? And just look at it honestly and say, you got screwed, Bobby. That's number one. You got screwed, right? But if we look back at it, we realize that the whole world got screwed on this thing.
Well, yeah, that's true.
And so we got to unring, right? So we got to unring this bell, and somebody's got to take the step. Now, maybe you're angry because Mr. Clinton didn't go, but now at least he's using his position to try to open the door to get back what you want, which is the remains of those guys who are still over there. Now, can't you give him some credit for that?
No.
You can't, huh?
No, because it's the end of his career that he knows that, so that's why he was doing it.
Well, it doesn't. I don't care. I don't care why he was doing it. The thing is, he's doing it. Do you care if I give you lunch, right? If I give you a free lunch, do you care if I'm doing it because I'm trying to make me look good, or if you look good? If you're hungry, you don't care, do you?
No, put it right to you. Says no.
Okay, so I don't care why he's doing it. If it helps us to get what you think we should have, and I agree with you, then what's wrong with it?
I look, you can talk to me all day, both of us. I'll take you out and buy you dinner.
Yeah.
We'll talk about this, but
yeah.
In my heart,
yes,
the guy doesn't belong over there.
I understand that.
I believe that.
And I understand that you feel that way, but having said that, if his going over there is 4 steps closer to getting back the remains of the people you want to have back, don't you think it's worth it? Can't you swallow your pride or your anger or your emotion long enough to realize that maybe there could be something out of this that would salute these people who are still over there?
No, because he only has 2 months to go.
Yeah, but it's about the first step. It's not about the whole trip. Of course he has 2 months to go. Yeah. But I mean, it's the first step. It's the opening.
But like I said, my anger.
Yes, I know.
My pride.
I know, but
I can't swallow it.
I know it, Bobby. And you know what? Who do you think that hurts the most?
Me.
And not only that, but if it stands in the way of us getting accomplished what you think we should get accomplished, and I agree with you, then you and I are wrong to stand in that way and say, well, our anger is more important than getting the remains back of these guys.
It's not the anger. It's not the anger.
Well, that's what's standing in your way of allowing this guy to go do what he's doing without jumping ugly with him.
Because him as a person.
Yeah, but I don't care about that. He's going over as the president. He's not going over as the person. He's going over as the president of the United States, and he's opening the doors to try to get this done. And for that, you got to at least say, look, I might hate the guy's guts. I might think he's blah, 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 whatever I think. I might think that he didn't have to go and I did. But now he's at least doing something to try to get something happening here. And even if he's only doing it for himself, for his posterity and history, I don't care.
Well, that's what I believe.
Well, that may be. That may be.
Legacy.
Yeah, that may be, Bob, and I'm not disagreeing with that. I'd be naive to say that. But if it results in getting what we think is important back, what do we care? I don't care.
Well, were you ever in the service?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, can I explain one other thing?
Yes.
I don't want to take up all your time.
Okay.
You know the people that came over here from Nam, right?
Mm.
The boat people, as they call them.
Mm.
You know they got more money than I got when I got discharged. Nobody helped me out. They were guaranteed $3,000 a month in a house and everything.
Yeah.
What did they guarantee me?
Well, that happened before Clinton got in, sir.
No, I understand.
Okay, so your anger.
That's why he shouldn't be there.
Well, I think that you're misdirecting your anger. I think you should be speaking to your government about the way veterans are treated. Right, the way veterans are treated generally, and abysmally. My father died in the Veterans Hospital. It was awful. I mean, it was awful.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, I mean, it was awful. And I mean, I am the first person to tell you that we talk a good game when it comes to our veterans, and then we piss all over them when it's over.
They don't. I mean, there's a lot of guys that they don't have nothing. They're walking the streets.
Yes.
They don't have any house.
That's exactly right.
They don't have even a shelter. They won't even stay in a shelter.
Yep.
I worked, some of them shelters,
So even saying all of that, Bob, even saying all of that, and I'm just, and we're off on a whole thing here, but even saying all of that,
yes,
you and I have to say, you know what, we're going to put down our anger, we're going to put down our justified resentment, and we're going to let this guy go over as the President of the United States and maybe open the door a crack so that we can get back something that we deserve to have back.
I understand what you're saying.
I mean, I don't care. If I'm on fire, I might hate your guts, Bobby. But if I'm on fire, I want you to be the one to throw the bucket of water on me to put me out.
I understand it, but he's the wrong person to be over there to negotiate.
But it's immaterial. Maybe he is and maybe he isn't. Maybe he is the way you think, but maybe he is the right person the way they think. And maybe it's all fruitless, and maybe I'm naive, but I'm willing to take the chance.
No, I'm not.
Okay, buddy. Thank you for your call.
You're welcome.
All right, God bless you.
Thank you for listening.
Oh, you bet. Bye-bye. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 in your cellular one. The emotion of these issues is not unlike the emotion of the issues having to do with these elections. We let ourselves get delved into personalities and background and what we feel is a scum bucket no matter who that person is. And then what happens is we end up punching ourselves in the face. Because we are not willing to say, well, I might not like this guy, but maybe he can get this job done for me. I might not care for this person, but maybe they're the person that can really make this happen for me. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776. Star 630 on your cellular one. Myrna Lamb will be on at 1 o'clock today, and we will have tatas. So those of you who are used to doing tatas, I hope you'll join us at just before the hour. Try to maintain some semblance of Kane and Company on WPRO. Okay? All righty. Cliff is in North Kingstown. Hi, Cliff.
How you doing?
Yes, sir.
That last caller you had, the Vietnam vet?
Yes, sir.
I'm also a Vietnam vet.
I can barely hear you, sir. Can you speak right into your phone, or you want to...
I'm on the home phone.
Okay. It's awful connection. Go right ahead.
I'm also a Vietnam vet. I spent 2 tours in Vietnam in 69 and 71. And as bad as I dislike... Can you hear me?
Yeah, better, yeah.
Okay, as much as I dislike Clinton, I am a Republican, I'm a conservative. As much as I dislike Clinton, I think that he is the right person to vote.
Yeah, I do too.
For the one simple reason. He is a big hero to the North Vietnamese communist government. Him and James Fonda, people like him, are big heroes. Mm-hmm. Maybe he can do things that other national leaders could not do.
I thank you for your call, but you're so messed up, Cliff, I can't...
But your proposal would be for education reform in this country, because as I listen to the radio, I just feel like we have failed so many generations of people, and they've ended up, using illogical arguments. They don't know how to interpret basic information. They let their basic emotions overcome logic.
Yeah, I don't think reasoning. It's about... But, Jillian, I don't think it's about education. I think it's about learning to deal with our emotions.
Okay, but shouldn't that be something that how people are taught when they're young? Can't that be a part of our system? Maybe that's the problem with our system.
I don't think you're taught emotion. I think that you're taught to deal with some of your emotion.
Okay. I mean, it's not fostered in certain ways?
Well, sure it is.
Okay.
Sure it is, yeah. But when we start thinking with, with our hearts instead of our heads, it's when we bang ourselves in the head.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, if there was any way, maybe even just at the preschool levels, the early grades, to start fostering some sense of, basically looking at things more objectively and really figuring out what's going on before jumping to conclusions. And, maybe we can bear that into the way we bring people up, so that 50 years later we don't have people who just, don't even know how to look at things objectively or with perspective, you know?
All right, Julian, I thank you for your call.
All right.
Bye-bye now. Cliff is back. Cliff, let me just let you finish your thought because you were really messed up.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Dave.
Yeah,
You hear me better?
You're much better.
Okay. I was telling you that in a way I disagreed with the last Vietnam.
No, we heard all that, okay, but then it started to break up after that. Have you got something else?
What?
I said, have you got something else besides that? Because we heard all that. Yeah, that was okay.
Piss off.
Okay. That's not what I meant, Cliff. I meant we had already heard that. Have you got something else to continue with? I wasn't saying have you got something else. I'm sorry you misunderstood. I meant we had already heard you say that, but then it broke up after that. Don is in Pawtucket on WPRO. Hi, Don.
Yeah, hi, Dave. How are you? I found out where you are on Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, yeah, here I are, yep.
Anyway, do you think all this would be going on if it was the other way around? Say, like it was Gore that was ahead and Bush was behind?
Sure.
Do you think all this recounting would be going on?
Oh, sure. Sure.
You really do?
Yeah, it's about the count. It's about the having a reasonable election, of fairness. Sure, I do. Sure, why not?
All right.
I can't imagine that that anybody would hand over the election, especially if you think you've been screwed out of it. Of course. It's not about a Republican, a Democrat. It's about fairness and about a real vote. And I would be disappointed if the Republicans didn't do what the Democrats are doing now, especially since they think that they haven't gotten all that's coming to them.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your cellular one. I'm sorry, I'm going to repeat to Cliff. I'm sorry you misunderstood what I said. What I said was that we had heard you make your previous point. I was trying to give you the opportunity to make it clearer or to make another point. And I apologize. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, but we'll talk again another time. You and me on the radio until 1 o'clock. Don't forget Myrna Lamb's on at 1 until 4. And she's going to be talking about what we are talking about and have been talking about, which is, of course, the election confusion in Florida. And let me also remind you, by the way, that if you get online, you can go to www.630wpro.com, and you can vote. We're taking a poll as to whether or not there should be a re-vote in the state of Florida, and how realistic that might be, or whether or not that can happen, and whether or not it would happen is another conversation. But what we want to know is, what do you think? Do you think there should be a re-vote in Florida? And if you go to www.630wpro.com and you vote, you could win yourself a trip to Orlando just for participating. So what I need you to do is to do that today, and then, of course, we'll keep you updated on the vote. I think this morning it was 59% agreed that there should be a vote, 41% said no. But you can change that at any time by just getting on www.630wpro.com. And so we'll be with you. Let me see if I can squeeze Myrna in here to do a crossover before I go to Tata's, because we're going to talk a little bit about what's happening on her show. So if I can find her, and we'll, here she comes. Here comes Auntie Myrna. You're on too over there. Hiya, honey.
Good afternoon, Dave. What a nice pleasure to see you here.
I know, isn't it charming?
Well,
huh?
It is. I mean, Sundays are so different around the station.
Nice
It's fun
and
to be here.
quiet. Nobody bothers you.
It
There's
is.
pastry in the newsroom.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'll go
The big
look.
white box right behind
Thank you very much. Just what I need.
Yeah. Now, let me see. What are you going to talk about today on WPRO, Myrna?
Aunt Miriam's best brownies.
Good. Oh, great. Terrific. Yeah.
We are, of course, going to continue to talk about the situation in Florida, and I've got several very specific questions I'd love to hear from people about. And all week long, of course, we talked about it and the lines were jammed.
Mm-hmm.
So this is really an opportunity for some of the people who are trying to get through all week and couldn't, and especially because I'll be here for 3 hours, which is, of course, much more time than I usually am.
Yeah.
But we're going to take a look at certain specific questions, such as, I suppose, the head of the list. Should Gore just give it up and let Bush have it?
Mm-hmm.
Should there be a push for the continued count? What do you think? Do you favor what might be called fairness over expediency?
Mm-hmm.
Those are the two big questions. And I've got some ideas I want to throw out there, because I'm hearing people who I even respect, people whose opinions I normally really respect, saying, hey, give it up, it's over.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, and also we have the opportunity, too, for people who are first-time callers. I started to take some of those. And, if you've never had the opportunity or never felt comfortable calling talk radio, I don't know what I want to say, what would I talk about, this is an opportunity to get in here, too.
Sure. Everyone has a really strong opinion about this of one sort or another.
And it'll be good because for the first time in the weekend, the calls have started to quiet down a little bit. So now's the opportunity for you to get in here and make yourself known. So Myrna will be on at 1 o'clock this afternoon, and you can go and have all you want. I'm showing her one finger. You can go have all you want of the pastry that's left. Okay?
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. All right, Myrna Lamb, she'll be here at 1 o'clock, an unusual Sunday afternoon, just you and me on the radio until 1, and then Myrna here after 1 o'clock. Also, I want to remind you that we're going to be doing this right on through. We're going to see this thing right through to the end, all week long, of course, and all weekend. Next weekend, we'll be doing it again. So it's entirely up to you how you want this whole thing to come out. And the way you're going to make this happen, of course, is by making yourself known on the radio. Okay? As for me, it is time for me to say ta-ta. I'm going to fire Rick Shaw, you are fired. You're out of here. And it is time for ta-ta, so I invite you to get on the line and hold up for ta-tas. 437-0630, 1-800-321-9776, star 630 on your Cellular One mobile phone. Let's fill up these lines. Let's make something happen. If you've done ta-tas before, you know how to do it. If you haven't, jump in, do it the first time. What the heck? Don't forget now, Myrna is on at 1 o'clock, so don't go anywhere. Stay right where you are, and you'll be able to hear the rest of what's happening here at WPRO News Talk 630. All righty? All righty. It is ta-ta time. No, not you. This guy.
Hello? I must be going. I cannot stay. I came to say I must be going. I'm glad I came, but just the same, I must be going.
I hit the wrong button. I hate that.
For my sake, you must stay. For if you go away, you'll spoil this party. I am through.
I'll stay a week or two. I'll stay the summer through. But I am telling you, I must be going.
All right, boys and girls, let's see you do a good job. Hello.
Why do they come up with new lottery games but they can't win the old one?
Hello.
Play fair and cheat honest like Clinton.
Hello.
Dave Kane for president.
Oh, no, I'm trying to quit. Thanks very much. Hello.
Some people in Seekonk haven't called your show because they already voted for Reagan.
Oh, that's why. I always wondered why that was. You get these things, you don't feel why you can't get a call. Is that the best you can do? That's all I got from you today? All right. Well, I don't blame you. That's okay. Hello.
Hey, that should be Al Gore's song, I Must Be Going.
Hey, I recognize that voice. Allow me to remind you now that in the end, the love that you take from this world is equaled only by the love you make in the world. Thanks very much for being with me. See you again next Saturday, be the good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. My thanks to Rick Shaw for all his help. And most of all, thanks to you, because without you, boy, this would be such a boring show. And my thanks to Auntie Myrna for taking up the slack here. Good heavens.
Radio 630, WPRO.